I don't know how Jody finds it. I swear to God, before we even start live, he's there. The guy's quick. Jody, you are quick. Okay, now I have to go to videos. It never shows when I go to my own channel.
Right.
It never shows it.
About 3 minutes ago, you weren't up on. That's why I asked, are you online yet? I just now got the notification that you're on YouTube.
Ah, okay. You know what I never heard anything about was that V-copter that was announced at
CES.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of that, you know, what was that back in January where all this COVID stuff started February into March, and I'm sure everything's kind of at a standstill.
You know what I noticed? Sean had, hey, there's Brian. Brian, did you get your email? Jody, do I have your email? You can give it to me in the private. Oh, you still have your deposit on the V-copter?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that was like $100 deposit, wasn't it, Brian? Hey, Tomas.
Tomas. There's the man, the legend, Tomas O'Sullivan.
I saw our friend. Hey, good evening, RG Homestead. You know our friend Fly High Ireland?
Yeah.
I caught one of his videos tonight. Good Lord, he's got some beautiful landscape there. Hey, here's Brian.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Jim.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, guys.
How's it going?
All right.
All righty. I didn't have a chance to do my hair.
I had to hurry quick, do mine.
I'm getting about due, Brian, for another coloring.
Man, I can get my hair right with that, but I can't get the stash right.
These guys are going to sponsor me one day.
I'm telling you, hey, it's what I use too, man. My wife says, get that shit off from underneath your nose. Your hair looks fine, though. Hey, Jim, I just broke in, so I don't know what y'all are talking about, but I want to give you a quick thank you. I did that TubeBuddy thing.
Yeah.
And I made a thumbnail with it. And it's good and it's bad. The analytics are driving me crazy.
Oh, my God.
You know, I was thinking, is there a way to throttle this thing back?
Hey, Paulie, drone bum. Yeah, if you start deep diving into those analytics, man, they will drive you nuts, especially if you look at the keywords for your video.
Now, some of that is helpful, you know, when it comes to the keywords thing, you know, but man, it's like, okay, you know, and whenever you go to look at someone else's video, they put yours up and they put theirs up and they compare, and it's like, I don't care.
Right.
Is it really necessary?
I got the pro version because it gave me a free subscription to Audio Hero Music.
Mm-hmm.
And but you know what? Not a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
To make it worth. I still can't do A/B comparisons on my own. But then who are you going to put your channel against? Another drone channel?
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of silly.
We all do such different stuff.
But
you know, I was asked to talk about the HDR again.
Oh, good.
The high dynamic resolution, because there's a lot of BSing going on out there. When DJI says HDR on their drones, they're talking one of two things. the high dynamic range of the camera. And when you're talking about, let's say, the X5S, the Micro Four Thirds camera, they're talking about its 13 stops of dynamic range. Whereas when you go to their other drones, they're talking about HDR effects, when they take exposure bracketing and make the best photo out of it. And I'll tell you something else, Brian. My software is even worse. On CyberLink Power Director, it actually calls it HDR effects. And as you know, you're only pumping up color.
Yep.
In order to get that true HDR, you need a camera capable of 10 or 12 bits of color bit depth. You have to shoot. And now the Mavic 2 Pro will do this. It will shoot in H.265, HLG mode, or Hyperlink Gamma. And then that's recording like D-Log, right? A flat profile, but it's coming back to you on the screen still in full color. And don't let that fool you, because you got to remember to change those settings back, because I let it fool me. And I went filming like the next day and thought I was filming regular H.264, but I wasn't. It was all flat and all had to be colored. And as you know, when you're starting from a flat color profile, it's a lot of work.
I've actually spent the afternoon doing just that.
You did?
Well, on a different subject, though, because something I referenced in that video I did the other day, the Mavic 2 Zoom, when I first bought it, it took me 3 months to get a decent picture out of it, because some numbnuts in there that I listened to said, oh, shoot in D-Cinelog. So I shot everything in D-Cinelog, going, you know, my spark looks better than this. What's going on here?
Because but he didn't tell you why, right?
Right.
And that you would have to go color every damn piece of.
And back then, you know, I was still kind of new to this stuff, and I did not understand color grading at all. You know, I enjoy color grading now because it's kind of fun because you can play with it a little bit. But yeah, that was a learning curve.
Now we discussed, yeah, bud.
I'm downloading 2 pictures. I will have them up here in a second.
That you
what I believe is HDR Effect.
Yes. Okay. Hey, Mike. Night Train.
Guys, correct me if I'm wrong as I get these up.
When you're saying HDR Effect, did you apply the color?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you've got to shoot it in a 10-bit or 12-bit color range, D-Log, HLG, in order to even color it for HDR standards in the first place.
Right. Well, this was shot with my phone, so I don't even know what it shoots in. Do you remember that program I told you about, Snapseed?
Yeah.
We talked about that a few months ago. And again, I was just playing around on my phone this morning. We were on our way to St. Paul, Minnesota, and it's kind of a cool sunset, or sunrise rather. And actually, I think I have a better example.
Actually, Jody, you're not kidding. They used to make lenses that you could put on like the Phantom 3 Pro for infrared for agriculture.
Jim, may I share these pictures?
Absolutely, buddy. Just throw them up. Hey, Bob Casey.
Brother Bob Casey.
How's it going, Bob? Thanks for the nice comments, man.
It's up, Ron.
Sorta. Wow.
Okay.
Nice desktop.
Yeah, that's a picture I took out in Glacier National Park.
Looked familiar, yeah.
Yeah. All right, here's a picture I shot this morning. Again, just with my phone. Okay, not a bad picture. It's, you know, okay. But then I did this with that Snapseed. That, that kind of screwed it up, and it picked up the reflections in the window. But I guess the effect I'm kind of looking at is sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. One thing I am starting to notice with that program is I'm starting to throw some grain if I throw that HDR effect onto there. You look at the top of the wing of the plane, you see how kind of grainy that is? It's looking. But look at the sky though. That was kind of washed out and whitish. But look how I was able, just by increasing saturation with the HDR.
The sky looks awesome.
It does.
Yeah.
That's a great picture. Hey, Ron, I was going to say though, on the grain, if you ran that through, I don't know, like with Lightroom, I can take the graininess out of a photo too if it's already there. I don't know if you have Lightroom or not, but there's a bunch of other. In fact, you've got Luminar though, don't you?
Yeah, you know what? I've never tried that. I think there is like a denoising.
Denoise.
Yeah. Run that through there, and I guarantee you get rid of a lot of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even Power Director does that. And I say even because I'm now mad at it because I don't think it's as powerful as it cannot do the high dynamic resolution for YouTube. The 10, 12-bit color rec 2020 is what we're really talking about. Everybody can do rec 709. In fact, if you go onto DJI's site for your drone and look in the download section, they'll give you a lot that goes from D-Log to 709. Let me pull up one of their drones.
Yeah, that's another reason though that's why I'm going with Adobe Premiere Pro here shortly. I'm doing all the tutorials on it because I don't want to buy it and then learn it then. I want to have an idea. I want to jump right into it, without having to go through the schooling with it.
Right.
Hit Film is a lot like Adobe, and I mean it acts the same, and it's free. So I don't know if you wanted to start off with something.
I don't know. My thing is, like I said, as long as it'll process H.265, which is what I want to start doing, because I've been shooting in H.265, but I can't really process it. It's the same thing with Cyberlink. The Filmora is the same way. It will not do 265. So,
is it converting it?
Yeah, it converts.
Mine converts it to 264.
Yeah, it'll do that with no problem.
And that's what you're talking about. You want to leave it at 265.
Right. Because once you leave it at 265, from what I've read, it's kind of like a 20 megapixel, 48 megapixel dragged into Lightroom. You can do a lot more with the color then too, when it comes to color grading. And that's the whole thing is, because you get too far into the weeds with, like I mentioned the other day, HSL and tweaking all the little colors, the different shades of red and greens and blues and yellows. You're going to screw up that picture sooner or later, and you got to start over.
Yeah.
Whereas with 265, from what I heard, it evens it out, so it's a lot easier to work with. So I just want to try it, at least for a few months.
Have we worked out what that HSL is? Does that mean high saturation level?
Probably. I'm sure it does, because that's what you're basically doing. You've got your basic saturation levels, and then when you go in there, there's like 8 different color grades you can play with. And if you go too far, especially on the blues on a sky background, it's going to look kind of funky. You're going to see almost like cartoonish shadows that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, it does look bad to me. Hey, Ron, remember we were talking about the JPEGs, and what were you saying? Because you work a lot with those DSLRs.
I said a lot of the cameras, like the 2 that I have now, allow you to shoot in JPEG, RAW, or both. And from what I've been told and what I believe I'm understanding, again, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but RAW enables you to play with your color grading so much more because it's a non-compressed file. And I use the example of let's say you're shooting a picture of somebody's house, and the sun, the sun's up on the right, shooting down on the house, and you have a shade up on the left, where your RAW file is going to enable you to look at that whole image, not have, the sun so blasted out and too bright, but also be able to still see the color of the grass in the shade, where it's not going to look real black, so
Yeah.
raw files, am I understanding correct, Ryan?
Yes.
It enables you to make that balance.
Because when you're shooting raw, it is grabbing 10-bit color depth.
Right.
There are 12-bit, like the X5S camera, DJI's Micro Four Thirds, can grab 12-bit color depth.
Right.
But even my program only does 10-bit.
Right.
Color. But let's just say everything else, your normal shooting of video and photo is in 8-bit color depth.
Correct.
So when you're going into H265 Hyper Log Gamma on the Mavic 2 Pro and into D-Log, you're making it shoot like RAW or 10, 12-bit color depth.
And your colors are more flat, which enable you to do more in post, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And there's apparently a lot more, with a higher color depth, you have obviously a lot larger file and more to work with, to where when you, like I said, look at that, that picture I showed you where, again, that's a free program from Google. It's something I can play with on my phone. But I noticed, like I said, it does put that grain into it. And you got my curiosity. Brian, do you have Luminar?
No, I'm fixing to get it because Lightroom goes bye-bye tomorrow.
Oh.
So I'm going to jump on that. In fact, I've been looking at the plans and I just realized I've got a $100 gift card unused from Christmas. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Luminar also has that, it has an add-on I noticed. It's called.
And that's what I'm saying. I want to get the ones with the add-ons because that's what really makes it work too. Is some of those
it's
effects
called
you can throw in there.
one of the add-ons. I think it's like an additional $15-20. It's called Aurora HDR.
Yeah. There you go.
But I looked at I actually looked it up, and you can actually buy that particular program just separate in itself. And I looked at the examples they had on their website. And I'll tell you what, it was pretty tremendous. It took some crappy looking pictures and made it look so well balanced in your colors, in your darks, and your whites weren't blown out, your blacks weren't, so dark that you couldn't see the color underneath the shadows, So,
Hey, Jim, I'm going to share a screen if I could. I want to show you a good example of this guy is a semi-professional photographer here in town. He does drones.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this Mavic 2 Air up on screen right now, and they don't even provide a Rec 709 download with it.
Nope.
But all right, we'll go back to talking about this in a minute because it says HDR mode, and we need to talk about that. So let me unshare and let you share. Let's
see. I'll figure out how to do this. Okay, here we go.
There you go.
Okay. Now, what happened?
You changed.
Try it again. There we go.
There it is.
Okay. This guy, he lives here in town. He has a Mavic Pro 2, Mavic 2 Pro. He color grades everything. This is a little bit extreme. He did this yesterday, and it was cloudy, and I got a very similar shot. I don't know if you can see on the left side. You can see the stadium. That's the baseball stadium over there on the left side of the screen. I was on the other side of that when he was taking this picture, doing my own pictures. So I know what the sky looked like. And it didn't look like that. It did not look like that. But let me see if I can pull mine up. Because mine, I kept it more real. No, I don't have it. Well, wait a minute. Let's see.
I'm showing your screen right now. Do you want me to?
Yeah, I know. No, it's okay.
Okay.
I'm just trying to remember where I put this thing. Because it's basically the same photo, different side of... No, I'm not finding it. Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Bob Casey. Too much of that
That's
color will
my
make it look
version.
cartoonish.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that, Jim.
Same day. Now, he might have been out there a different hour, but that's the same photo, different side of the city. I went ahead and color graded it in Adobe also, not Adobe, Lightroom, same difference. But he takes it a little bit to the extreme. This is more natural to me, you know, so. But yeah, that's all I had, you know.
It looked like he zoomed out.
Yeah, he did. Well, what he did was this is a 2 photo stitch. He took a 3 and then put them together. And that's why it gets that wider look. And usually I take 3s too, but I said, you know, 2 is going to work for this. That's a damn good picture though.
All right. I know something we talked about last week, Brian. I don't think you were on.
Last week? No, you were on with me.
Yeah, it's in your show.
That was a show? Oh, man. Wow.
I guess you call these things shows, right?
I suppose somebody does.
Uploads. Hello, ADS. We went through, because YouTube has its specs. And that's what I wanted to go back to. And I have it on, it's in YouTube Help. They've got the HDR channel and everything on YouTube now. And there's 8K videos on YouTube.
Thought they couldn't do 8K.
Yeah, they've got 8K on there, baby. Look at the one from Peru.
That's going to ruin a lot of people's worlds. We just bought a 4K 4K TV. Now we got to go out and buy an 8K. Yeah.
Jim, can I share another picture with you here?
Absolutely, brother. I'll tell you what, Brian, I am not going 8K. I saw them at CES.
No.
There's just no need.
No need, and it's still, if you ask me, that's way too much information on a screen. They're going to need years to get that right. There's going to be noise in that picture, and what do they call it? Vintage?
Vignetting.
Vignetting, yeah. It's just not going to look right for a good while.
And here's the thing. You haven't even got a big selection today in 2020 of 4K viewing options.
The only ones that truly outstand the way they should are the OLED TVs with the curve thing. And I can't remember what the resolutions on them are. They're still low, $1,500 to $2,000 for those things.
You're getting like on your contrast, you're getting 10,000 to 1 and above, like a million to 1 in the blacks. I have a 4K, but it's a Sony Bravia LED. It does a good job because it's got the auto dimming, local dimming.
Hey, Jim, I don't want to take this up too long.
What happened? Put that back up.
Yeah, what I was just going to tell you about this, though, is this is straight out of the camera, absolutely zero editing.
Wow.
Yeah, this was at Sunrise. I was with Rodney Bell, Paul, Drum Bum, and
was that in Philadelphia?
In Philly, yeah. But that was at Sunrise. When you look at this,
how the hell do you have all that color?
You know, like I said, and Rodney was standing right beside me. I'm like, Rodney, look at this color. And he goes, holy crap. But look like right here to the right, excuse me, right here to the right, like you can see the water, you know, the light shine off in here. It's not washed out. You got that beautiful color here, that red sky. And this was pretty close to what I was seeing,
you have got to
with the naked eye, you know. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of a cool picture, though.
What camera took that, Ron?
That was my Sony RX 10 Mark IV. I love that thing.
Reason why
says he remembers that morning. It was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. That's the morning we went down to see Philly Drone Life. Yeah.
No, I told my wife the other day, I said, honey, I'm not going to buy any more drones this year, but I am going to buy one more thing. And before I even said it, she says, you're going to get a camera, aren't you? I said, yeah. And I'm kind of fishing at it because I don't want to break the bank, but I want something that's really good. And there's a lot of them out there that are really good right now. So I don't know.
I'll tell you, Brian, and like I said, I know, like Steve said to me, he's like, Ron, you're the spokesman for Sony, but I'll tell you what, that camera, it's got 24-600 zoom. It shoots at f2.8 f4. It shoots 4K 30, 1080p, as high as 960 frames a second. It'll go 60, 120, 240, 480, and 960. And if you can't get a shot in, it's in JPEG, but it has a high frame rate mode. You can shoot 24 JPEGs a second.
Wow.
Up to a 10-second burst of 240 pictures in 10 seconds. If you can't get a picture out of 240 frames,
that's video.
Not be the camera.
Yeah.
The focus is at 0.03 seconds. I've never ever had a camera, and like I said, I've been doing photographies. I've had some good Nikons throughout my wedding career and stuff. Never had a camera focus like this one. It is lightning fast. The only reason I bought that Nikon, that P1000, was for the long distance range that has that 3,000 millimeter zoom, zoom on it. But I'll tell you what, you
need a tripod for that, wouldn't you?
You do. And, so many people, I gotta admit, when you get out past 2,000 on that camera, I noticed a big image quality, unless you're really good at, Photoshop or Luminar or whatever, of sharpening that picture up pretty good. You see the image quality lost. But up to 2,000, it actually does pretty good. Whereas that Sony, I'll tell you what, let's see if
Well, I just wrote it down. I'm going to keep that one in mind.
let me see if I have this saved on my.
Is that the camera that we showed on here on one of these?
Yeah.
He did a run through on one of these, Brian, about 3-4 weeks ago.
Okay.
He showed the whole camera and all the, but yeah, and all the options that it has on it and all that.
Trying
but
to find.
The thing is, it's like using a rifle with a scope. You've got to sit there and hold that thing steady as hell, or else you're doing this.
That's why I asked about a tripod. Yeah,
absolutely.
And for what I would use it for, I get outside a lot. Of course, I guess we all do. But I see so many things, so many times, that I would just like to be able to just reach up and grab the gun and go. I'll see wildlife and nature and all the stuff, and you can't get everything with a drone. It's just not there.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't want to go all the way to Ron's level, so I picked up the GoPro Hero 8. But you have two choices on that GoPro when you're up in the 4K level. 4K 30 it will shoot at. You're either shooting at GoPro's color profile, which to me is highly saturated, or none, and then you got to color the damn thing yourself. They call it flat.
Yeah.
It's either GoPro color or flat. That's it.
Thing about it is I like highly saturated, actually.
But then the trees, like Bob was saying over there, then the trees are all black.
Yeah.
I worked on a picture the other day in Photo Director where I was taking a picture of they were putting in all new power lines and all the new power poles, taking out the tree type and putting in these huge concrete poles. And it goes for miles. And alongside they have trees on each side and all that other crap. Well, all of this was dark, while everything in the middle. So I was sitting there in Photo Director and trying to bring up the exposure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, man.
And sometimes you can, but a lot of times, especially if you move, you're going to lose whatever you've gotten, and you have to start all over again at a different location where the light changed on you, and it's like, oh God, now it goes back to either the way it was or something worse.
Brian or Jim, can I share one more time?
Just put it up. I'll see it and throw it on screen. Either one of you guys want to share anything?
I wanted to show this to Brian. Brian, this is not long after I had the camera. Am I sharing, Jim?
Yep, it came up.
Okay. I know you guys have seen this before. I don't know if Brian has, but this is the quality, and this is almost next to no photo editing at all. This was probably about 150 yards away. Right.
And that's what I'm talking about.
That's the pitch. That's with that Sony. I mean, look at the detail on that picture.
Yeah.
Clarity.
Yeah. And I think I did see it. I know I saw this, but
might have been on. I think I have you on my Facebook, but
I think that's where I saw it. Then, yeah, it was on Facebook. And
there's the other one. This was in Yellowstone.
There's the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, I shot about 30 or 40 frames in like 2 or 3 seconds.
Wow.
Ron, I wonder if you can isolate that bird in flight with your programs.
Oh, probably.
Like duplicate that one wing, the way it goes up at the end of the wingtip.
Yeah.
In flight like that. That's such a cool picture.
Yep, it is.
That's with that Sony, Brian. Yeah.
And see, that's what I'm saying. You know, around here where I live, we've got bald eagles, we've got hawks. This morning I was tracking a heron, not Ken, but a regular heron. I mean, like a 5-foot wingspan. He was 1 foot off the lake. The water was calm, and he just every now and again his wing would tip that lake. I was like, "Oh, where's the camera?"
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the kind of things that I'm always seeing stuff like that now, because I think with this drone thing, my eyes have opened up more to certain things that I wouldn't really given two rat's asses about before.
I've got to make this bigger. These are YouTube's specifications, Brian, that we were talking about for putting up HDR. And here's the problem with the 265. It wants 264, 10-bit.
Yep.
I don't see. Now, MKV is a 265 file format.
It says 10-bit.
I know. Well, it says H264, so it's Maricosa, so I don't understand that. But okay, and then the metadata
compression might be different on it.
This is the color rec we're talking about. The 2020 is the color rec for high dynamic range for YouTube. And when you put these videos up, like Al did, they come up, and where it says 4K in that little red spot there on YouTube, it'll come up and say HDR. So you can do 1080 and 4K in HDR. I've seen both. Here's the problem, though. As of now, the only programs that are doing it are the one you were talking about, Adobe, Davinci Resolve 16, After Effects, which is also Adobe, and then Final Cut Pro. Al used Final Cut Pro and used that Rec 2020. And it's available. It's a checkbox. And I wish Matt, I see that Matt's on Facebook. I don't know if he's coming on. He was on Messenger.
Yeah, I know. He was in the chat last week, so he may, but it's kind of early for him over there, I think, or kind of morningish.
He has that DaVinci Resolve, and he's kind of used to it.
And that's what I was talking about last week. You know, I tried that, and if you can get used to it, power to you, because, man, it drove me crazy for 3 months.
The Resolve?
Yeah. I mean, it's just very cumbersome. It does work, and I can see once you get used to using it, it's a really good program. But that's why I'm going through this stuff with Adobe Premiere. I'm taking all these tutorials first before I go actually paying for the damn thing. You know, with DaVinci Resolve, it was free.
Yes.
Which was kind of cool. I said, well, how bad can it be being free? Well, I found out 3 months later. It's pretty involved for some of the simplest things that I was used to doing.
You said you're getting rid of Lightroom and going to what?
For the Luminar.
Or for your photo editing? Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah.
Because isn't Lightroom I mean, being that it's part of Adobe, isn't it an annual membership or?
You can go month by month, and even with what I'm going to do with Premiere Pro, I'm only going to try it out for 2, maybe 3 months, and then just drop it.
Right.
Because you know, and it all depends. You know, if I ever made any money doing this, it'd be a whole different thing. I'd pay for it, but you know, this is still hobby territory for me.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Right here on the second paragraph, it says right there that denoising can also help if your videos look too compressed when streamed. So that's a checkbox in Power Director that I just leave checked. It automatically, it says anti-deblocking and denoising. Have you seen that deblocking?
Yes, I have somewhere.
Not entirely sure what that does, but
I never paid attention to it because I didn't know what it meant. So that might be something to look into.
And incorrect color space marking. That's the old DCI formats, though.
Yeah.
When mastering, always choose the Rec 2020 color primaries. You'll see it as SMTPE 2084 or 2086. That's the Society for blah, 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 blah. SMTP. But these are the 4 programs that do it. Well, they're actually not 4 programs because After Effects and Premiere Pro are on the same company. So you got Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve 16, which I'm kind of, you know, because Brian, what you talked about, you've got all that, those nodes and all that stuff that you have to learn. And when Matt was showing his screen, even he said that he had done something wrong and the video wasn't coming out at all.
I was watching that too. And, you know, he's even mentioned that it even now will take a good while, you know, 4 to 5 hours to get his videos up. And I've seen that his videos are outstanding, but the real stuff he's showing is only 3 or 4 minutes long. For me to put together a 3 or 4 minute video, I can knock that out in an hour at the moment.
Right.
You know, when I get into Premiere Pro, probably not.
So when DJI talks about HDR videos on their Mavic Air 2, they're talking about exposure bracketing, AEB, auto exposure bracketing, and getting the best color out of that because it's not 10-bit color depth. Now, if I change the screen, will it go to it? No. Yes, it did. You can, because let's go to the camera. You're still using on the Mavic Air 2 the old 1/2-inch sensor, 12 megapixel, and it's using that. Remember that quad Bayer filter we were talking about, Brian, with the 4x4 pixel binning?
Yeah. And like I said, it's still a little misleading, but it's relatively true.
But I think they're very misleading in when they're talking about the video modes here. You see this is photo mode, and it talks about exposure bracketing, but then it goes into smart photo and calls it HDR and HDR panoramas.
Okay, I'm going to have to try that then.
But
Jim,
that's what it's doing. It's auto exposure bracketing and taking 4 together. Hey,
Jim, look in your green room.
I know. I'm looking at that. I'm sitting there very, very busy, Rodney. I'm sorry I can't help you out, brother.
Well, then goodbye.
I heard a rumor that you are off restrictions
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Don't be doing anything tonight.
I haven't done anything well, I did take my drone up to try and get a sunset, and I was going to do it live, but I think my RTMP key changed again.
Which drone, Rodney?
Oh.
Hey, BMack, how's it going?
How's it going? Which drone were you trying to put up tonight?
P4P.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Jim, Bob Casey had asked that, you know, I guess everybody's different flavor, but, you know, honestly, I'll tell you what, again, I know I sound like a spokesperson, but I'm actually finding Luminar to be really easy. He had asked, what is the best photo editor for someone in kind of beginning? I mean, Rodney, how have you been with it so far?
Wait a minute. Editing program. What's the easiest editing program?
Yeah, photo editing program.
Is it just photos, Bob? Because the most uncomplicated is either something like what Brian's doing at TDR Drones, like VSDC, because it's free, or Power Director has a free 30-day, and a ton of training videos, Bob. That's what I love about it. There are just a ton of 4 to 8 minute videos from a guy called the Sharper Turtle, believe it or not, Sharper Turtle. And the other guy's name is Power Director University. They do quick little videos on how to do this and how to do that. All right, Bob says either or, video or photo.
You wanted to get an all-in-one, you know.
The other thing too is what computer are we working with too?
Apple.
He's got a brand new Mac.
Okay, so
he does.
Yeah, it's gonna change a few things there.
Rodney, what are you using
for photo editing? Right now, I'm toying with Luminar 4.
Okay, and your videos?
My videos, I use Premiere Pro.
Okay. There's a learning curve on that. I know you guys already know I had bought Premiere Pro back when it was a creative suite.
Yes,
and it overwhelmed me, Rodney. I gave up on it. I still have the damn discs.
Well, me back in 2004 to about 2007, me and one of my ex-wives, we did wedding videography. So we kind of had to learn on it because that's what we used. We had Premiere Pro, we had Photoshop Pro, we had Audition Pro, we had the entire suite.
Yeah.
And, so we kind of had to learn it. And you're right, there is a learning curve. But once you learn it, and believe me, I don't know everything about it yet, but I can create a 2-3 minute video in about an hour and a half.
And that's pretty fast when you're talking about this, Bob. Don't expect to be, especially when you're talking about like we are. When I shot a construction site, Brian, I had done it by accident because I left the thing in H.265 Hyper Log Gamma, 10-bit color depth, right? The D-Log.
Yep.
And I can't tell you how much it overblows the whites on a foundation.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got a foundation, then I've got wood all stacked up over here. And, of course, you've got houses around it with green lawns and brown roofs. Holy Christ. I couldn't bring that exposure down enough just in that one part. You know, it was like I've since learned how to do it by masking, putting a mask over one area.
Yep.
I had fun with that. I think last week I showed it, that motion tracking mask.
Yep.
And then when it left the area, the mask was still there when the drone camera.
Another thing, Bob Casey, on the video editing stuff, that doesn't come overnight. I mean, what I say I can do in an hour, 18 months ago was taking me 2 days. You know?
Oh, believe me, when I was first learning Premiere Pro, it took a good long time.
Drone Kings in Darwin, guys. This is Brad up in the top of Australia in Darwin. And we've got Matt Northeast Drone Productions. He's over in Brisbane, which is like the right side. And then where is Ari? Is he over on? I think we've got Australia surrounded. Now.
Ari is in the same area of Australia as Matt.
Yeah, he's only about an hour away.
Yeah, they're both in Queensland, I think.
Yeah, and Peter's more on the other side, I think.
He's south. He's in. I want to say he's down towards Sydney.
Yeah.
Okay.
South of Melbourne or Queensland, or maybe he's in Melbourne. I forget which.
Hey, Robert Glazier, how are you? Good to see. Hey, Rodney, did I send you? Okay, Brad, thank you. Ari is in Brisbane as well. And Pete Carroll. What? Yeah, Pete Carroll's in Melbourne.
Yeah. Okay. So it was Melbourne. Yeah.
Is having the right setting while filming, so they will turn out right. Well, for the Mavic 2 Pro, which one did you get, Bob? Did you get the Mavic Air 2 or the Mavic 2 Pro?
I think he got the new Mavic Air 2.
I'm not qualified. Who's qualified to talk about the settings on that? I do not have it.
I'm still learning them.
Yeah. So
I think Billy Kyle just did a recent video on the settings for the Mavic Air 2.
Robert Glazier's in Arizona.
I don't know if we should bring up Billy Kyle.
That kid, Jesus.
Did you hear him on Ken Dono's show Friday? What Thursday night was it? Oh man, it got funny.
Well, do tell.
Well, Ken was already 3 beers into the wind.
Oh, okay.
He brings Billy Kyle on, and you should have seen, or you could just hear the edge in the chat, like, ooh, no, get that guy out of here. Those two are friends, they're both from Philly. But and then Ken was just, you could tell he was getting, I don't know if he was getting mad or not, but he of course, it's hard to tell what sets Ken off, because sometimes I wonder if that's not an act or not too. But it seems that Billy put up some stuff that, it's the same old stuff while he's a DJI plant, and he's just giving Autel hell and not equal time and all this other stuff. It was funny though, but yeah.
I got nothing against Autel.
I don't either. I've got them both. I love them both.
Ron had the original Evo.
Yeah, the original Evo. And that, again, I had mentioned to you earlier, Jim, I think the Evo gave me the best dynamic range where, again, when you're flying, where your bright areas were not blown out and then your shaded areas were not blackened out. It did such a perfect balance.
I never had to hardly color grade much at all with the Evo stuff.
Yeah. Have you been pretty happy, Brian, with the footage on that?
Yeah, the colors are drop dead gorgeous. The only issue that, and they brought this up, Billy Kyle brought it up in his too, because his Evo 2 is doing what my Evo 1 was doing, and that's not flying straight.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
Zeno does that too.
But something in the last firmware update fixed it, I think, because I've had it out several times now, and it seems to be working fine.
This is 300%. I can't get it centered.
It looks good. I can see it.
All right, there's 400%. This is the actual dynamic range of the camera. When you're talking about dynamic range from the actual camera, not color grading and any of that stuff, you know what I mean? When we were getting confused with HDR, everybody's using it in a different context, because you've got HDR, high dynamic range from the camera itself. This is the X5S with 13 stops. 12.8 is 13 to me. And it shows you across the ISO range. The left side is 100. Oh, you can see it. Okay. That's the camera's capabilities of doing HDR itself. Here's your signal to noise ratios, X5 versus X5S. And then, of course, your color sensitivities in bits. The right-hand side is the bits.
And yeah, Bob Casey, don't worry, he's losing me a little too.
But Brian,
no, I got it. I know what you're talking about.
Look at the size of the pixels here. We're talking about a 3.3 micron pixel, right? The Autel Evo is a 0.6
Mhm.
micron size. So they're actually making them smaller instead of the normal 1.06. You're trying to get more from less. Are they doing it? I don't know. A lot of guys are bitching because, as you know, it's not true 6K and it's not true 8K.
Right. It's almost, it really sounds like the same thing they're doing with the 48 megapixel on the Mavic Air 2.
Right.
It's almost like it's sort of, it is what it is, but it's kind of fudging the numbers by a little bit of division. Let's divide by 4. Take that 12 and we'll divide or times it by 4.
When we say pixel binning, what we mean is there's the pixel in the center, and then it's also using the 4 pixels around it to come in and from the bottom to come in. So it's using like 8 or something to come up with that 48 megapixel photo. That's how the binning works. It's grabbing the 4x4 around it to include it in.
Is that the camera you have on your
This is the one I used on the Matrice 210.
on the Matrice?
And I used the regular X5 on the Inspire
Oh, okay.
up there.
And that's the Inspire 1, right?
That's the Inspire 1, my
Okay.
go-to. Because I'm afraid that that's the only bird that'll still be flying when they get done with all this electronic noose they're going to put around us.
Anything can be gotten around.
You know what? I put it in our group today, Brian. There is I don't understand it. From Prof CNC, it was an open source drone ID. Where is I don't have, let me put this here. Let me just show this. And I can't understand what they're actually talking about. And this is whose window? Airbot Systems. Chrome tab. Airbot. How do I tell? This thing, you have your entire screen, application window, or Chrome tab. Those are your options to share. So there's that Airbot Systems, and let me make this bigger too. And you guys see where it says drone ID, and let me unblue that. It says open source Wi-Fi electronic drone identification. So already what you're talking about, Brian.
Yeah, there's always going to be a workaround. The trouble is, well, there is no trouble. There's there's just not enough FAA resources to go around to try to do what they're actually talking about being able to do.
I don't know what exactly this is. I did, when you press free download, it tells you to put your email in, and then they'll send you the link. But I put my email in, and I did not get a link.
Okay. One thing I do want to bring up on this subject too, today I was flying my Mavic Air 2, and I heard the plane before the alert, and I could not, I'm looking all over the place, I could not see it. It was just a Cessna. He was way the hell up there. He was in the sun, which is why I couldn't see him. Finally, it popped up on my screen, and I tapped on it, and he was at like 5,000 to 6,000 feet. And I said, you know, this is a good thing to have in a way. At least you know, because I'm always open ears for whatever's flying around me, and it's better to know where they are. So
okay. The only problem I had, Brian, was when
we give out our information.
Okay, with that too. But when I was flying a construction project, it was for the Florida Department of Transportation. They're putting in a Interstate 95 exit. But there was an airplane circling overhead, and I got the warning that said, you know, DJI Airsense, and it pops up the ICAO number of the aircraft and how far away it is, yada, yada, yada. I pressed the X, I'm at it. When I came down to change out batteries, I couldn't take off again because that damn airplane was circling overhead.
And that's going to, eventually that'll be our problem too, I'm sure.
And this is on an Enterprise bird. This is
Yeah.
on the Matrice 210. And that's what I'm saying, why I'm keeping my Inspires. Because it don't have AirSense. It doesn't have any, it's nonsense.
So I've been, this AirSense is detecting other planes, right?
Right.
Because I haven't seen that come up on my Mavic Air 2 yet.
Have you had any air traffic? And there's a setting in there to how far out it'll go for you.
Well, I'll have to look at it. I know I got it turned on.
Yeah. See, and if it's set to like a mile or a mile and a half, you're not going to see them until they get within a mile or a mile and a half of you. I think it goes out to 5 miles.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look at that.
That's interesting, Brian, because on mine, I can't change the how far out the bird is or whatever. It's got 3 different colors, blue,
Yeah.
yellow, and red.
I got in there the other day and I found the settings for it and I was able to change the distance.
That
And
is
I think, was it on? I think it might have been on the map itself, not in, you know, where the eye,
Yes.
it
it comes up in the little corner. Yeah.
somewhere on that map. It has a settings button and you can change it there. And I'm going to get out there tomorrow just to make sure I know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty,
Yeah, it's just
Fred
another
Rogers, how are
warning
you
that
back?
keeps coming up on screen.
but yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's like I said, and you know, I don't even care if they know who
Right.
I am or where I am or how high I'm flying because I'm always flying legal. That doesn't bother me. But it's like you said, though, Jim, I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to be told when I'm 8 miles away from an airport that I can't fly for whatever reason they come up with that day.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I turned around. I have my 107, but I turned around and I got certificates of COAs, certificates of authorization to fly in my airspace anyway. I
Well,
didn't need them.
most of the time, our hassle here is not really the airports. I just don't mess with them. But when you go downtown, they finally shut it off last week. Every time the Houston Astros play a game here in town, you cannot fly within 5 miles of downtown, anywhere. And it's just, they're not even playing. And they just took that restriction down 3 days ago. Gee, thanks. There's no season.
Well,
Thank
you know, here's some. You know that Before You Fly app?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the most dependable.
Apparently so, because when I was at work, when I was at our main office there in Dahlgren, I looked at it and it says, you know, good to go. You know, it gave me all green. But when I went to light off the motors on the drone, nothing happened. And it says, you're in a restricted fly zone. You
That's-
cannot, you know, it says, unable to fly.
That's
And I'm
DJI.
like,
That's DJI, and that's also a problem because I had that happen to me. Here's another thing. During the hurricanes, the hurricane we had just the last hurricane, was it Matthew? That was nothing, absolutely nothing. I had to get emergency COAs, ECOAs, emergency certificates of authorization to fly. Even though I had them, there was this one little recreational airport I was telling old guy in a drone, Mitch, about. It's called Merritt Island Recreational Airport, whatever. It's just for little Cessnas. Even with all those ECOAs, DJI was still giving me a warning that I was flying into their airspace. You're talking about a non-towered airport, you know, just a regular you and I can fly in. I don't understand. I didn't want to chance anything happening because, you know, with their new restrictions, as you fly into that zone, your bird goes down and down and down until it's landed.
Well,
I didn't, you know, it got me scared.
Bob Casey just put something up, and here this, yeah, because I had this, and I'm aware of this. We have 3 prisons downtown, and for grins and giggles, what was this last fall? I put my Mavic Air 2, my Mavic 2, close to them, and I was waiting for the warning, and I'm literally inching it towards the prison. And at some point, it didn't go down; it just stopped. Said, "Can't go anymore. Turn around, back up."
I would appreciate that.
Right over it. which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think any of their stuff is completely accurate. You know, I use the example of it's been 2 years, 3 years maybe when I have my Phantom 4 Pro. When I took it to work one day, it wouldn't even allow me to start the motors.
Right.
All these warnings and came up on the screen. Now versus my Mavic Pro 2, I was actually able to start it up and buzz it inside the hangar one day. We didn't have the plane in there, but it's like, okay, why does one wouldn't even let me start the motors, yet the other one let me fly inside the hangar? So, and it you know, I had GPS, I had good GPS signal. It knew where I was at. So you don't know what software you can trust. I really, you know, just found that interesting.
The other thing that I don't like is when I'm out in the field, so to speak, right? I'm out in the middle of nowhere where they're doing construction on these things. I don't have Wi-Fi or cellular on the Crystalsky. So even though I've got a telephone, that's not good enough because they have to, unlock it on the bird. So they have to be able to get to the Cendence controller or Crystalsky, however they do it, to unlock the damn things. This is why you do them from home before you ever go fly. Again, I'm going to start the rant. You're contacting China to fly in the United States. And Rodney, there was a lot of problems with AirMap back, a year or two ago. Their maps were all screwed up and weren't the same as the facility maps that the FAA put out.
Yeah. Right after I downloaded the Before You Fly app, I opened up AirMap, and it was telling me in an area that I'd already, I'm within 5 miles of a small airport. It's an untowered. It's got a grass runway.
Yeah.
It's privately owned. There's only one plane that takes off from it, and they haven't taken off from it in years.
Right.
And I was within that circle, but it didn't stop me from flying. Well, but it did tell me that, be careful, don't fly, whatever. And then when I opened it after I downloaded the Before You Fly app, and which said it was good, I was good to go. Then AirMap started telling me the same thing. So I don't know. I think AirMap was finally catching up with what the FAA was doing to some extent.
Jim, question: can I just safely assume when this remote ID, whenever this officially becomes, official, can I just assume, like I said, like your Crystalsky or an iPad that doesn't have cellular data, are these devices going to be obsolete where you can't use them because you don't have cellular data?
Yes, you will have to be able to connect through the internet or cellular.
Yeah.
Either system.
Well, if you have an iPad that has wireless, and you're connected to like a cell phone hotspot, you're still connected to the internet.
Yeah, I'm just saying
so
it has wireless, so yeah.
Huh?
I was saying, unless you have does the Crystalsky have wireless, Jim?
No.
Okay, but like an iPad would, like my iPad, Rodney, has wireless, and I think I see what you're saying. You would connect to your phone as well wirelessly,
and use it as a hotspot.
Right.
As a hotspot, which would connect me to the internet. Right. So I can't see. I can't understand where an iPad Mini 4 that's just wireless alone and not cell phone, why you still couldn't use it.
Right.
As long as you use your mobile phone as a hotspot to your iPad Mini.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
But something like that Crystalsky though that doesn't have wireless, that's an
Nope.
expensive,
I'm dead.
device, and
Yeah.
then it's going to be worthless. Yeah.
The point being,
I can't believe they didn't build wireless into that.
I can't
I know.
either, or make it a
Especially for what
component.
they cost.
It's got USB plugins. Why don't you make a dongle that we can plug in?
Yeah.
Like, you know how you have those little tiny Bluetooth dongles?
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you mean.
Because, I mean, the whole reason of getting the Crystalsky, I already had the damn iPad Mini 4. The whole reason was to be able to see in the bright sun during the daylight.
Yeah.
That's why we all bought the Crystalskys.
Well, hey guys, I got a bit of fair news here. I got to head in. So Jim, thanks for having me on.
Time to work?
Yeah, time to go to work.
Oh, I was wondering. I thought you were already at work, but I'm looking at Eastern time. I'm like, because when you said I got to go into work, I looked at you're like an hour and 15 minutes late, bud. You best hurry.
Yeah, my phone would be ringing right now if I wasn't there. No, I got to be there in 40. It's only a 5, 6, 7 minute drive. I got plenty of time, but I'm one of those early birds. So
Yeah, well,
To answer
like
Bob's
me, I
question,
believe in being there early.
the only place I'm never early to is the doctor's office.
Thank you.
yeah.
That son of a bitch is going to make me wait every time. I'm going to come in 15 minutes, easy 15 minutes late, which will be 15 minutes before they're still ready for me.
Yeah. Well, everybody in the chat, Brian, Rodney, Jim, thank you. You guys have a good night.
Talking at you, Ron.
And
You know what? Today's Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
it is.
Oh no, Lloyd's was last night.
Last night.
I was gonna say I missed Lloyd's live stream, but I had to because it was wife time,
Yeah.
Which
Very
wife? Which number wife is this, Rodney?
The fourth one.
You're an incredible man.
Absolutely, positively, the last.
Okay.
You're an incredible man. I could never do that. I could never do 2, let alone 4.
So, best
I'm
we
on-
stay off that subject.
I'm on number 2, but we ain't married.
The first one is always going to be the first one, and
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
that,
Well, you learn. What
See you
happens
later,
is you
Ron.
learn after they
All right,
take
guys,
it.
take care. I got
Night,
to roll.
Ron.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks, buddy.
something else too on the subject, Crystalsky. I've been playing with the idea, and I just looked at it again today. I said, okay, I had a budget this year of $2,000 for a drone. The Mavic Air, I got a lot of money left over.
Right.
I'm thinking of getting that remote, the universal remote from DJI.
The smart controller?
Smart controller, yeah. I can never think of the name.
Yeah.
But I looked at it today, it's like $750. I remember it was $650. $650 I could have handled. $750, man, I don't know about that.
The thing is, we don't know, and I know what you're thinking. Is that going to be usable for future birds? Right. That may be where they're going to, because the Cendence remote controller that I have is huge.
Well,
I mean, yes, it has a lot of controls on it, and it makes everything easier to access and all that. But it's a lot of weight to carry around. That and an 8-inch Crystalsky. I mean, you got to use a strap around your neck.
the thing about it is too, I've been around just long enough to remember when those remote controls were an add-on, in the case of the Spark, and I think the Phantom 3, there was something you had to buy extra for the Phantom 3 because my neighbor had it and I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was something to use his iPad with. I'm not sure. But the point of it is that like with the Spark, it was an add-on when it first came out because you could run it off your smartphone.
Oh, do you mean the HDMI socket?
Probably. Yeah.
HDMI socket on the back? Yeah.
The point of it is, the remote controllers with any of these are replaceable. If you break it or lose it, you can just get another one and link it up. So yeah, they should keep it to where they're all universal for everything that should come out. Rick Halper's got one. It's heavy.
Damn
Okay,
it.
Rick, let me ask you this. Is it heavy? Well, I don't know if you have the Mavic Air 2. I love the feel of the Mavic Air 2 because it's kind of, it fits my hands well. I'm just wondering, okay, here's the thing. The Mavic Air 2 controller, along with my iPad, is heavy. How much heavier is that smart controller? Can't be that bad.
What size screen is that? Is that a 5.5?
5.5, yeah. And see, you know, for the longest time, I've been using the iPad because I like the extra real estate. But
Yeah.
I've been noticing with my Samsung 9, because I had to use it with the new Mavic Air 2 for a little bit. I said, you know, this looks pretty easy to look at. You know, yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, if I can read this and it's like a 6-inch screen, how much worse, especially with a 1000-nit light, is that remote, that smart controller going to be?
Mel, you got the smart controller.
Yes, I do.
What's your impression of the weight on that?
It's heavy. And because of the design, there's no good way to connect a lanyard to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me grab it real quick. Let me show
It's
you what I'm
either the
talking
4
about.
point. I think I know what he's talking about. It's either the 4-point system.
Yeah.
Bri, like 2 on top, 2 on the bottom.
There's nothing on the Mavic Air 2 controller to connect to either. I really would like a lanyard for that. I can rig something up. I mean, you know.
I had to go get it out of the drone case. Sorry.
Oh, Rick, you might be selling yours. The thing I like about the big Crystalsky, Brian, is that we can use that for anything else too.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Mel. Sorry.
Here's the deal. No, that's true. You can use the Crystalsky with many things. And I have the 5-inch Crystalsky right here. Okay.
Right.
But the smart controller, first thing is, it's exactly the same size as the 5-inch Crystalsky. Exactly. Right. Okay. It's very heavy because it has 2 batteries in it, one on each side.
Ah.
And that forms the hand grip. Okay.
Right.
Which is how they designed the Air 2 controller, because the Air 2 has this same type of hand grip. Okay. It's basically the same shape in the back, is it not?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So the problem is with this controller, these 2 screw holes down here on the bottom,
Right.
guys are screwing eye hooks in there and hooking their lanyard to that. So when you hang it, it hangs upside down off your neck. Okay.
What do you got on top? Is there anything on the top?
Nothing on top. Your HDMI ports and stuff like that are on top.
Wow.
Okay. And the slot for your SD card, for the internal SD card on this thing.
Right.
You get used to holding it. And I even had to change, because I ply pinch, right? I don't ply with my thumbs. And I had to change the way I kind of hold it versus the regular controller to be able to get a good pinch and still steady my fingers against the top surface of the controller, because I rest my forefingers there and then I pinch with my thumbs. And then that way I can get very, very small movements on the sticks for extreme control. The thing is there's no other good way to hold this thing unless you get one of those controller trays, like you can put the regular Inspire controller in or the Phantom controller in, the
Right.
actual tray with the shoulder harness.
You still have that
That's-
tray laying around by you?
As a matter of fact, I gave it to Chris Hope as a thank you gift for doing all the posting and everything that he does on my channel. He stopped by here on his way to go while he was up here visiting his daughter that lives near here. He stopped by here, sat in on a live stream with me, and that night I gave it to him because he flies the Phantom. I no longer have a drone that really required that tray. It's an awesome system because it connects with a shoulder harness, so it takes all the weight off of your neck and puts it around your back on your shoulder blades and stuff. So it was much more comfortable, and it had the connection to mount as big of a monitor on top as you wanted, and you could just let go and it would rest against your chest, in my case your belly, but it would rest against your chest, and all the weight was supported by your shoulders and back instead of your neck. And it was amazing. I was going to 3D print a mount for this to adapt to that tray, and then I gave the tray away.
Why is Robert saying I got my smart controller mainly to use my phone? What does that mean?
Because most phones and most iPads, they're in
mainly to not use his phone.
Yeah.
Finish.
Oh.
That way you get the brighter screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're really dark. I mean, you get out in the sun, you really can't see much of anything unless you use a sunshade.
Even with the iPad, I use a
even
sunshade.
the iPad. I've got sunshades for both the big iPad and the Mini 4 that I use. So,
Same here.
but with the Air 2 controller, now this is something that Bob Casey brought up, and I like to design things. I like to make things. That's how my brain works. The antennas pop up with 2 rods that hold your phone on the Air 2 controller.
Right.
I told Bob, get yourself a piece of good heavy duty string, about 8 inches long, tie it in a knot, make a loop, put it over those 2 rods with the string up here.
Right.
That way your phone will mush on the string, and then you can hook that string to a lanyard, and you'll be balancing the weight of the phone and the controller. Because everybody's complaining about, with the phone being on top, it makes the thing so top heavy that it's ridiculous. So a logical balance point is in the middle. And because they don't provide any way to attach a lanyard to it, tie a string around the damn thing and hook your lanyard to the string.
See,
It won't interfere with the mounting of your phone, and it'll help balance the controller. And
okay, wait a minute, Mel. What about these cheap straps that we have? The cheap single ones that go around your neck. You know how they have that little clip on them? Can't we just have, I know you got to use 2 of them, but you could put one around each rod, right?
No, because when you put the phone in, you can't hook to those rods.
Okay.
It has to be something that can fit between the top of the controller and the phone.
That's a crappy design, man.
Yeah. The thing about it is what you're talking about, Jim, that would pop the phone out of there with the string pulling on the side of the
You're
phone.
right.
No, if you put the string around the back of the mechanism,
it wouldn't
pop the phone out.
No, but if you do my idea, it would.
Oh, yeah. No, if you wrap the string around the whole thing, then put your phone in, the string will come out between the top of the controller and your phone, and you can hook your lanyard to the string. And it wouldn't take any, it would just regular string, decent string, like that green or red or whatever roll of string you buy to say run stake lines, what I mean, when you're setting forms or something.
Wait a minute. Look what Rick says. Mine came with a lanyard and hardware for it. The smart controller or
smart controller or Air 2 controller?
Or Air, yeah.
We're talking about the Air 2 controller, Rick. I don't think he has an Air 2.
Either one,
I can't remember.
Smart controller, it'd probably work for the Mavic Air 2 controller because they are so much alike.
Well, that's just it. It won't work for the smart controller.
I can't believe they don't even have a lanyard thing on there in the middle.
No, there's nothing. There's just nothing there. It's just, it's a great controller. It's the fastest way to get in the air of anything. You turn this on, you turn the bird on, you hit the levers and you hit up and you're flying.
And you're right, because I'm using 2 of those batteries. Think about it. Smart controller versus Cendence and the Crystalsky. I've got to use one of those batteries just for the Crystalsky and another one for the Cendence remote controller. So I'm using those 2 batteries. And
Wait. The Cendence remote controller doesn't have internal batteries?
Oh, hell no. No.
I didn't know that.
Nope.
I'm glad I never bought one then when I had my Inspires.
Yep. They're the same ones that go into the Crystalsky. And the reason I think they did that is because, like, when the Inspire remote controller batteries die, that internal or Phantom 4, when that internal battery dies, people don't know how to change out the battery.
Yeah. Well, it's not that difficult. If you can buy the battery, it's easy to change if you have, well, I shouldn't say that. Sonari got onto me one day on the truck. I handed a guy a 1/2-inch ratchet and I said, go do this.
Yeah.
And he looked at me like I had two heads. I said, come on, man, it's just a ratchet. Go do this. Later, she said, you know what tools are?
He don't.
You know what hand tools are? Maybe he grew up without a dad that taught him how to use hand tools. Did you ever think of that?
Which is happening more and more.
And I thought, but my brain says it's a tool. It's a God thing. Guys know tools. It's a God thing. And she smacked me in the back of the head, and I went, okay, well, maybe not.
Well,
But
Mel, they don't teach that kind of thing in school anymore.
no, they don't.
When you and I went to school, it was mandatory to take shop.
Well, no, it wasn't mandatory. It was a what do they call them?
It's what you wanted to take to get out.
It's an electoral class. Yeah.
But we had either
For me, it was
electronic,
mandatory.
Photoshop.
You had to take one. You had to take a year of shop.
We had
I didn't
different
have to.
shops.
I wasn't forced to.
We had electronics, wood, auto, and
Yep.
Metal.
what the hell was the last one?
We
Metal shop?
had wood shop, metal. Actually, I think metal was 2 9-week periods, and then we had a 9-week period of a quarter of electricity.
Yeah. Hey guys, I want to just get back to this.
Yeah, he was
controller
talking
harness
about the
thing.
smart controller.
Yeah. Now, Night Train FPV posted 2 links in the chat.
Yeah.
I strongly urge that y'all go check these out, because these right here, especially the Pro Grip, now that's designed kind of the way the tray was that I had.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
And the Pro Grip is actually adjustable to adjust to whatever controller you're using. That you wouldn't be able to use that adjustment with the smart controller or the Air 2, but this other one, let me get back to the name of it. The Solo RC controller tray.
Yeah.
That thing right there is the answer. It looks like it is the answer for.
There's another good thing about that one right there. You know how much more professional you're going to look, and less people are going to come up and think you're just goofing around.
Exactly.
That thing looks like you know what you're doing.
Well, that's what I liked about the harness. I mean, the harness system, it came around. That one. It came around your shoulders, and you had a hook on each side like that one does, and you could let go of it, and it would rest at whatever elevation you had your harness adjusted to. It was awesome. We used them in California when I was flying for Precision Hawk. That's where I discovered that harness. One of the other sensor operators had one for, and I was like, holy hell, that is cool. I got to get me one. I mean, it was amazing. And it was extremely comfortable because you didn't have that pull around your neck. That goes around your shoulders. And it's just, Bob makes a good point. $40 for that thing. I mean, it's an amazing price.
Yeah, it is good price.
That thing looks really, I will probably get one of those.
That other one on the other link was $99.
Yeah.
Really?
But this $39 one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. To me, that thing is
Rodney.
awesome.
Oh,
yeah.
There's only 2 available. There's fixing only be 1.
What do you need to see? Because the link's in there, Rick. He was saying, can you make the picture bigger? I don't know. Can I? Yes.
And check out some of the other pictures too that go with this thing. The very last one that you can click on, down below it. No, keep going.
Not that one.
No, keep going. One more.
One more.
Yeah, yeah, you can back up. No, now you're into something else.
What the heck is that? Yeah. I'm
It
into
shows
something else.
Tray.
It shows what?
Let me see where you're at. Okay, the one to the right of that red picture.
Okay.
There you go. That really shows it to where you know how it really sets up.
I've
Yeah.
got it.
You can kind of
Yeah.
see how your controller is going to sit on there and how that strap is going to go around you. That is very cool. I like that.
Well, see, the thing is, and then so you just put the piece of Velcro on the back of your controller to keep it stable.
Yeah.
See, now for me, if I was going to build that, I would design it. I don't know if the Air 2 controller has the screw holes in the bottom like the smart controller does, but I would design it with a bracket with thumb screws that you actually screw the controller right to it. You know what I mean? That's what I would do if I was building that.
Okay, Mel.
And designing it for the smart controller. And instead of have your hands go inside of the straps,
Like he's
because
got it. Yeah.
if you have to move your hands really quick, you could get caught in the straps.
Yep.
Those straps should be inside your hands. Your hands should be on the outside, and your hands should have a tray on each side that you can rest your hands on while you're operating the sticks. I could way design that thing way better than what it is.
I wonder why. I mean, I see the trap right there. I wonder why they did that.
Yeah, that to me, that's a trap. That's a good word for it, Jim. That's exactly what it is. It's a trap, I think.
Hey,
I
Mel,
don't think your hands should be blocked in any way. I mean, you could be looking at your drone and step on a rock and stumble and fall. You need your hands to be free. But anyway, but that is a great design
And cheap.
and cheap. Yep. Now I wonder if that centerpiece is carbon fiber or if it's anodized aluminum.
I don't know.
But anyway, I'm going to research that a little more. I'm going to save that link.
You mentioned the weight of the controller, though, especially the smart controller. You think Velcro is going to work just for that?
You think what?
You think
Velcro.
the Velcro will work just for that?
Oh, sure, because the tray sits basically level.
Yeah, you see it?
Okay. So that's just to hold the controller in place on the tray. But that's why I said if it was me designing it, I would make a thumb screw bracket for the back that would screw into the smart controller so that if for some reason you do stumble and fall or something, your controller stays in the bracket and somewhat protected. That's what I liked about the tray that I had. If you look at that other picture, the Pro Grip.
I didn't download, open up that other link. Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Open up that other link and then go to the image.
Let me just stop sharing for a second here and I'll open up Mike's link. I got to tell
I
you.
can share mine. I got it
Yeah,
right
go
here,
ahead. You
whatever
got yours
want.
up and ready?
Yeah, I can share that if you want to.
Go ahead, share that. I tell you what, I think I'm going to get this $39 thing here, $40 thing.
There's none left now.
I like that. Oh,
Mine.
you bought it already?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
The thing about if it's on eBay, you can get it somewhere else, and that's what I'm going to shop for. And I'm wondering too, especially if you go through Amazon, a lot of times they'll give you alternatives, and like what Mel's talking about, that thing with your hands being inside is not a good thing.
Well, he's showing
This
you an
one-
alternative right here.
This one is designed the way it ought to be. Okay. It's
Yeah,
Got
I had
the
the
tray.
same problem, Mel.
It's got the tray for your hands. All right. And your hands are on the outside of the controller.
And it's
But
got an
now-
armrest too.
Now look really close where it's against his body. It's got a little tab that comes up over the bottom edge of that controller. And then if you look at the front, it's got a little adjustable tab that comes in against the handle.
Yep.
That locks that controller into that tray so that if you were to fall or stumble and have to let go for some reason, that controller is going to stay in that tray. And that's what you want. You don't want just to hold your controller. You want to hold your controller safely and securely. Right?
Oh,
Hey, what? Now, how are you're gonna secure the smart controller to this, Mel?
See the bracket at the bottom?
Bob, it's in this chat. Mike, Night Train. Look at Night Train's chat remarks. He put the links in.
Way back up there too.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and copy it.
Or I can repost it too, Jim, for you. Whatever.
Okay.
But look at where, if you see where it's got the bracket that comes up against the bottom of this controller already with a little tab that comes over the face of the controller.
Right.
For the smart controller, that's all you need, and a couple of thumb screws in the back to hold it on. I mean, it's simple.
What I like about it has those little armrests too there on the side.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That the tray system that I had that. It had hand rests that it was an option that you had to add. Okay, but you could add the hand rest on the sides. It had the mount
is that
bracket.
a hand rest?
That's what it is. That's hand rests.
Huh.
I mean, if you look at it right there, that's hand rests. Right here.
Damn, I try and reshare that link, Mike, and it goes to 283 letters.
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
It won't let me do it.
I know when you put it in here, it took up a good chunk of space. Let me see if I can.
Why are we talking about TinkerCAD, Jody, for making our own? Sorry, I missed that conversation, Jody. He's talking about, he says 3D print it and try it.
Exactly.
You could 3D print those arms.
I could 3D print that whole thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I could 3D print it to fit the smart controller.
I wonder, if you could make some kind of snap fit. You know what I mean? Around the sides.
What do you mean?
Of the smart controller. Just coming around the sides of it.
I wouldn't do that. I would do it on the base with thumb screws.
Okay. But
to me, I mean.
Yeah. Would you have to drill into the smart controller? How would you do it? On those two at the end. Okay.
They're already there.
They're quarter 20 threads, huh? I wonder why.
And they're quarter 20. Exactly.
And see, that's the kind of thing that the Mavic Air 2's controller does not have.
See, and it should.
Yes.
Mike says the second one
you
was
can take
better.
I agree too. The red one, the Pro Grip, I think it's better.
And Brad says you can rest a beer on it.
On the front there by the antenna. That's right.
Hell, even on the armrest.
And on the bottom, you can hang a cup, for when you need to get rid of the beer. Oh,
yeah, we just invented.
You always think of the essentials.
Hey, you know what? You just got to cover all the bases when you're designing something, right? Or nobody will buy it.
Thanks, Mike.
In fact, I'm glad I popped over here tonight, Jim. Thanks for sending me a link. I'm inspired now. I'm going to start designing it. Jody's probably already got his CAD program open working on it. If I know him, he's funny.
You know something, Mel? Help me explain this here. RC Diversions. I'm sorry if I'm screwing up your name. I'm trying to go back and see it. He asked me earlier which drone I love the most. And RC funds diversions. He asked me which drone I like the most. And I said the Inspire 1 Pro. And he said, with all the drones you have, that's an interesting choice. But you've had it. You understand.
I had two of them.
The way that thing moves in the air, it's just an unrestricted flight. You can do any damn thing you want with it. It's really...
You can almost wash windows with it.
It's just a beautiful bird, the way it moves.
Yeah.
I mean, I was showing Dan drone
it's
worship.
Graceful. It's graceful. You go 60 miles this way and then spin in the air and come back and never miss a shot. Never miss a thing. And it's smooth. I think it's because it's heavy. Now, the M210 is the same way, in my opinion, because it's got a lot of weight. So like the smaller drones, the Mavic Pro and the Mavic Air and the Mavic 2 Pro, you give them a snap command control in flight, and you can actually see the movement when you bump that stick. The Inspires and the heavier lifters, they're so heavy. It's kind of like the difference between driving a Volkswagen and a Cadillac. Okay. You jerk the wheel on a Volkswagen and you go, whoop. You jerk the wheel on a Cadillac and you kind of go, whoop. You know, I mean, that's the difference. I can't describe it any differently.
Hey, not to change the subject. Well, actually.
Well, then don't.
Go ahead.
Mel, shut your trap a minute, okay? Thank you.
In fact, you know, this is empty. So that means something else is full, and I'll be right back. Okay.
All right.
Jody just shared a link, and I think you ought to share that, because I mean, it is actually a video of what we're talking about. Those
I saw that.
holders. Yeah.
Just be careful playing other people's videos.
I was going to say, can I play it?
I imagine. Well, I don't know. No, maybe not.
You might have to right click and go into a different tab.
Yeah, I wouldn't play any sound to it.
Yeah, that too.
Where is it?
That's the one, Rodney, with the really big helicopter.
Yeah, and the really small pilot.
Yeah.
That young man can't be more than 5 or 6.
If he's that.
Yeah. Whoa. Man, wow.
4-year-old Justin G.
Oh yeah, it says his age right there.
Yeah.
He's flying that whirly bird like he's done it all his life. Probably has.
I don't. What? Oh, this is a commercial. I'm like, what the heck am I watching? Let me see if I can.
That thing is gas powered.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
What is it called?
What, the video?
Yeah. Is this it? No.
Nuh-uh.
No. Well, hang on. I think that was it.
Oh.
You say 4-year-old Justin G.
Yeah. Hey, Ron, you want me to share my screen? Because I got it up on mine.
Yeah. You can call me Jim, but go ahead.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say anything.
There's too many here. Here we go.
All right, Brian, I got it. Yeah, I did have the right one. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I saw it from the beginning.
Look at that.
Wow, 2.36 million views.
Look how old it is.
That looks like a T-Rex 600 bird helicopter. It's not though, right?
I don't know. I mean, watch the takeoff on this thing.
And for him at 4 years old to have the comprehension, that's incredible, huh?
Yeah.
You notice that they're at an RC field?
Yeah.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Take drone shots. There you go. You were blocking out Mel. I know he's ugly, but come on. No need to insult him.
He punched that thing up, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did.
He's flying the hell out of it.
I bet. How old is this video? Because I bet they didn't have.
It was posted April 28th, 2007.
Yeah. He didn't have GPS and IMU stabilization in that. He flew this damn thing.
Yeah.
It looks like it's on fire.
This kid flew it. That's incredible for a 4-year-old. Yep. Today we have it so easy we don't even know it. Let go of the sticks and that thing crashes to the ground. Let go of our sticks. Look at the antenna.
Yeah. That's an old frequency controller.
Holy cow. The antenna's
See,
taller
he's on
than him.
channel 57. He's got his antenna clip on there so that when at airfields, when they used to use frequencies like that, you had to go to the frequency line and grab the clothespin with your frequency number on it and clip it on your antenna That way, if somebody with your frequency went to go get a clip and it was gone, they knew they couldn't fly because someone was using that frequency already.
I'm
He's
with
a
you, Mike. Look at that. To get a 4-year-old to concentrate.
Oh,
Oh, a little bumpy, but man.
I couldn't have put it down any better.
You're right, Mel. Everybody had to have a different freak channel, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
because it was crystals. It was crystal frequencies.
Yep.
On the megahertz bands.
Oh, there's a lot of guys out there. Look at the smoke in the background. I think somebody crashed.
Look at this
No.
concentration.
The
Oh,
airplane
yeah.
smoked because you had to mix the fuel with castor
Yeah,
oil.
yeah, fuel oil, like the weed whacker.
Yeah, kind of. You had to do a fuel oil mixture. But we used castor oil back then to mix the fuel with.
That is something else. Look at that. I can't get my 11-year-old granddaughter to get interested in these things.
No, not today. You won't.
Brian, come on. What am I going to do? She has a Tello. She has a Phantom 4. She has a Mavic 2 Pro. Don't want to fly them. It's like, okay, it goes up in the air. Now what?
Yeah.
And that's it, though. You know, I got a couple grandkids, and the oldest one is for the boy. He's like, what is he, 18 now? Like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Right.
Did you
no,
notice this kid's taking his hand off the controls and flipping switches too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I see the gas burners in the background. Yeah.
I was gonna say, what is going up down there on the end of that field?
Yeah, it's a gas engine with oil mix.
I saw it. It was another helicopter. Big old puff of smoke when it went up.
Okay.
Mike says I got my boy a couple. He played a bit. I gave him an FPV quad, no interest.
Yeah.
Now video games.
Yep.
I don't get it. It's just like, she put it up in the air, flew around. Okay, it takes pictures. So what? Bored. And here I am figuring we're at the tip of the blade here, guys, of a budding industry trying to get these kids into it. The FAA is right now advertising to start college courses for these things. And we know everything they're going to teach in these and I can't get the damn 11-year-old interested in it.
Right.
They're all shocked at the 4-year-old. I don't doubt. I would be too.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm just watching the video. I'm shocked.
That is incredible. Oh, here I'm done. I saw him flip the switch.
Yep.
He got done. He flipped the switch.
I mean, look at
Look,
the time thing.
he got a prize. Cool.
He's got a tray too for that thing.
Yep. He's got his controller tray.
I think that's why they posted the link, was because of that tray.
Yeah.
That was just perfect.
Okay.
His name is Justin Chi. Watch more of his videos. He will blow your mind. I bet.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, I can't get either of my boys to fly. What is it, guys?
So
Well, look at our age. I mean, how many? I'm not saying everybody here is old or young, but there's something about our age group that seems to be attracted to this.
Brian, I started off as a kid flying Estes rockets. All they did was go straight up with parachutes and come back down.
When I was 10, I wanted to put a camera on the tail of a kite.
Yep.
but there was no camera that was made that you could do it at that time.
Nope.
I had my mom's Instamatic though. I said, I wonder.
See, when I was 10, I was more interested in destroyers, Navy destroyers. So I ended up going to a couple.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I used to build models of Navy ships. I mean, I'd build airplanes and cars as well, but mostly it was Navy ships. And the old 2100 class, the Force.
You think he was a midget, Brad?
What?
Brad says he got a prize, shortest 30-year-old participation trophy.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, man, I started off with the Estes rockets where you had to bend the fuse, and remember those big old 9-volt batteries? They called them lantern batteries.
Yep.
And sometimes the igniters would work, and sometimes they wouldn't.
Right.
It was like a glow plug theory when you bent the igniter and stuck it up the butt of the Estes rocket, and then you came back and pushed it even had a key. You guys remember that? It even had a fake key.
All right, guys. Well, I got to get off here, so.
I appreciate you coming on, Rodney.
Thanks for the invite. Probably I don't get on more often, but I try to reserve the nighttime, the evening times to spend with my wife since we both work during the day. So like you don't come to my show anymore because you sleep all the time.
Rodney, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning working on my darn water softener system. Oh my God.
Your what? Your water system?
My water softener. It wouldn't draw salt into the resin tank. So we were getting all hard water. And if you know what hard water is here in Florida, it's nothing but calcium.
Right.
Oh my God, it's bad. So I was working on that all night. What a pain in the ass. Such a simple system too.
Yeah. Well, I'm just joking with you, Jim, but
it's a long-term problem I've had sleeping.
So anyway, hey, y'all have a great night. Mel, it's good seeing you.
Good night, Rodney.
Brian, good seeing you. And Jim, always good to see you too. So y'all
thank you very much, buddy.
Everybody in the chat, y'all have a good evening.
All right, now what Mel is showing is this the 3D system that we all have here on Windows 10?
Yes.
Guys, you all have this available to you right now.
Absolutely free.
That's right, Mike. It also helps with dry skin and your hair and washing dishes, because you know how your glasses can get that calcium on them, the spots. Can't thank Rodney. Thank you very much, Rodney. I really appreciate you coming on.
I'll move that over there so I can see it when I want to look at it. And where's my chat window? TinkerCAD.
TinkerCAD? Okay.
Yep. It's in Google Chrome browser. So all you got to do is just go to Google Chrome and type in tinkercad.com. You can sign up. Now, I'm going to make this thing 15 millimeters thick. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to
put the holes in it.
I need to make it 800 millimeters wide because the controller is 700 millimeters wide.
You measured?
Yes.
This man here.
Yes. I have a digital caliper. I measure. Okay.
Good for you.
If you're going to design stuff, you got to be able to know how big to make it.
Well, I have those calipers, and I have a Johansson block too.
The only thing I know in millimeters.
Hey, keep your sex life to yourself, would you, pal?
You know what a Johansson block is?
No, that's why I said keep your sex life to yourself.
It's what's used to calibrate the calibrators.
Oh, okay.
The calipers.
That's right. I did know that. But because I can't make this thing 800 millimeters wide, that poses a problem for me and my 3D printers.
What is 800 millimeters? How many inches?
800
millimeters to inches. It is 31. Wow, 31 and a half?
No. Oh,
yeah.
It's not 800 millimeters. It's 80.
Okay.
Let me see here.
That's better.
What the hell did I do?
All right, that equals 3.14 inches. So
yeah, this thing goes to 60 millimeters. And I, for some reason, decided that, okay, I added an extra 0. See, that's why we should be using a ruler instead of millimeters in this country.
I think it's 8 inches, isn't it?
No, it's 3.14. That's why I said it's pi.
No, 80 millimeters is not 3.14 inches.
I'm looking at it.
No, pi is 3. Yeah, it is. Mel, it's
That's not-
3.14961.
Okay, you guys are doing something wrong because this thing is more than 3 inches wide.
I know. 80 millimeters is 3 inches. Not centimeters, millimeters. Tiny little millimeter longer, 101.
Okay,
To 105 millimeters, we have an artillery shell.
this
Who-
thing
Who remembers the
this thing
cigarette?
goes to 60 millimeters. Okay.
No. That's,
What do you mean no?
That's 6 inches right there.
That's 60 millimeters. I'm in metric on this thing. And that doesn't quite cover the width of the controller. So I moved it over here, and then I moved it over here to the edge of the screen and remeasured it because that's where it come to, was the 60 come from a little bit past the controller to the edge of the screen. So I went from the edge of the screen to a little bit past the controller and came up with 80 millimeters wide.
Brian, I got the same answer you do.
This is why you measure twice.
Cut once.
Okay, so 80 millimeters.
Is 3.14961 inches. All right. Now that we got that squared away. He's going to get a ruler. I knew it would drive him nuts.
Where are you getting your conversion chart?
Right
On a
there on
calculator.
Because this tray is going to end up being 7.5 inches wide.
I don't know if y'all can see that. Probably not.
Yeah.
That's on a calculator.
How-
Oh, damn.
How in the hell does that work?
Yeah, there it is right there.
How does that work? Because
3.14.
Mel,
oh,
needs to be calibrated.
wait.
Are we
Turn
going
it on.
centimeters? Next thing I was thinking.
Zero.
Calipers only go to 6 inches, right?
Let me turn on my light. Okay, somehow this thing got set into inches. Inch fractions, millimeters. Okay.
I thought we were going to break
Wow.
the internet here for a minute.
Man, I was going to have a meltdown. I was losing my mind, guys.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
Okay. So now we'll get a new measurement.
My calipers are 6 inches.
Okay, so I'm going to go about a 1/4 inch past, and that's 153 millimeters to just about that screw hole. So I'll go to there, come about a 1/4 inch past. What's 150?
6
Let's
inches.
see. So we'll say 155 and 35 is 190.
All right. That is 7.48 inches.
Okay, well, we don't care about inches because TinkerCAD works in millimeters.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
what did I say?
190 millimeters.
Okay,
190.
so I'm going to set this to 190. There is the width of the base. I've got it set to 15 millimeters thick, right? Now, how tall do we want it? We only need it to come up to, where do you think we need it to come up? Just to where the bottom of the antennas are?
Yeah, you don't want to
Right.
interfere. Yeah.
You don't want to come past there because the antennas have to be like this,
Right.
right? Okay, let's get
You,
that measurement.
You're setting up to make what, Mel?
Tray.
A tray?
This looks like 86, so we'll just say 85. So
Look at the screen, Brian. Look at
what
my.
we'll do now is we'll go here. We'll set that to 85. So
I've been
there's,
looking at these for a while now. I was wondering if you're going to notice them.
what's that? What are we doing?
Everybody's talking about how large their units are. Don't worry about it. Just keep going.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, tell them to use millimeters, and the numbers will automatically be bigger.
I know
Mel.
you got video millimeters.
Mel, did you see Art's video of when he caught the fish with Ron in South Dakota?
Yeah, I watched part of it.
The fish was this big.
I thought that's what he was using for bait.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
So here's the back of the tray, the base. All right. And let's give it a little bit of a radius. Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Let's go 1.5.
Fun
Make
with
it
radii.
there. Look at there. See, we just kind of give it some rounded corners just to make it look pretty, right? Now we need, what do we need to add to it? Because at this point, anything we add to it, we have to attach to it.
Are you going to attach to the sides to make those rails?
We would have to. So we need a bracket that will attach to the side of this thing, right? So let's put that there for now. And let's take another block. And how tall do you think we ought to make them?
6, 8 inches.
Okay. Tell me how many millimeters 8 inches is, or 6 inches. Actually,
6 inches should be fine.
6. Yeah, but how many millimeters is that? Somebody tell me. Okay, good God, I'll go get it myself.
That would be 180, 99, 100, no, it's 160.
I'm trying to clear mine real fast.
3.4 inches was 3.14 inches was 80 millimeters, so 80, 160.
Okay, we'll do 160 tall then, right? Wow.
Look at Brent Nunley.
That just seems to be too tall. That's just too tall.
Well,
Because-
remember, this is the side rail that's coming back to your body, and you were going to put straps on this.
Yes, exactly. But the controller is only a little bit of space, about a half inch, and I'm showing 50 millimeters there. So I don't think
Mel.
it needs to be that tall.
Mel, you're getting compared to Bob Ross in the chat.
I am?
Can you make some happy trees and clouds, Mr. Mel Ross?
Where's Lloyd at with the bite me symbol when I need it? Okay. So now we want this to attach onto here, right? Now, do we want this to be molded part of it, or do we want it to be an attachment? And do we want it to be at a little bit of an angle? So let's say,
If it was attached, keep in mind you're limiting then to what you might ever use that for in the future. You know, if they make different size controllers eventually.
true. So if I was going to make this thing, I would probably inset it about like so to have each side so that it fits snugly on the side of the smart controller, right? And how thick is that right now? 20 millimeters? Yeah, that only needs to be about 10 millimeters thick. So let's change that first of all. And then we'll put it inside by 5. So we'll move it over by about 5 like that, about halfway. Okay.
Yeah.
And then of course we duplicate that and put it on the other side, Control D. And let's just move the second one over where we can grab a hold of it, and then we'll put it over there.
Hey, you Chris Hope, we're making a holder for the smart controller.
And then we put that like that. Then we need to just break out the ruler here just to make things a little bit more easier.
Bob, I have one.
And we'll do this, and we'll make this 0. All right.
Still haven't put it together since
Then
Christmas.
we'll make this one, and we'll put it at 25 from the bottom. Does that look good? A good place? Yeah, almost the middle. All right. Now we'll do the same thing with this one. And
millimeter long.
we'll make this one 25. So now we have a symmetrical device, right?
If you say so.
So what else? What else do we need to add to it at this point? Seriously.
You need holes in the sides because you're going to be hooking up your strap to it.
Yeah, or some
Okay.
thing to.
All right. Okay, so let's do this. Let's tip this to 90. And to be able to hook the strap in there well, it probably should be kind of an oval shape instead of an actual round shape, right? So we're going to make it, well, let's leave that at 20. And then we'll bring this down to, we'll bring this measurement down to about 15, make it oval. Okay. Now we're going to make it long, like so that it overstretches. We have to raise it up. And then,
How much is this going to cost, Mel?
and then move it back.
How much you going to charge us?
Put it like that. And we probably need to raise it up a little more.
Yep.
So something like, about like that, right? So now let's just group all of this stuff together. What the hell, why not? So now what we have is two solid, it's now one solid piece with two holes in it. Okay, to hell with any other control device. Now we need a place to screw the smart controller in. So however far apart those holes are, we're going to say, let's make this 10 millimeters right here. Okay, whoops, 10, enter, and make this measurement probably 5, okay, because that's all it needs to be. Now we're going to bring that back here, and we're going to stick that right here, and we're going to make it be flush with the rear edge. So, and we're going to duplicate it. We're going to move it over here. And of course, this would be lined up with where the threaded marks are, okay, on the controller, right? We'll put that at 0. Okay, so now this whole thing, this probably has to be tall enough to accommodate where the thread holes are going to be for the smart controller, right? How tall did I make that? Let's make it, just for drawing purposes and fun, we'll make it 30, 30. Then we need a hole in that for the threads for the smart controller. So let's get a hole. Let's get a hoe, turn it on its side, down to 90 degrees, minus 90 in this case. And that's 1/4 so what is that? 7 millimeter hole, right? Does that sound right? Did I lose everybody?
No.
Everybody falling asleep?
Yeah.
Move that over there.
10 millimeter, you mentioned?
Move that over there. Well, 1/4 threads in the bottom of the controller, so it's probably about a 7 millimeter hole.
Okay.
Now I'm going to duplicate that, move it over so I can grab it. And then I'm going to move, whoops.
No, you're not going to do that. That's the one thing we don't want to hear.
No whoopses?
No whoopses.
So we'll put that there. Kind of try to line it up in the middle. I'm trying to do this really fast so I don't waste a lot of your time. But so group all that. Now you have brackets for the bottom of the smart controller. You have brackets for the lanyard. And what more do you really need? That'll hold your smart controller right there. I'm not looking at chat. Should I be looking at chat?
No.
I'm actually sitting there trying to figure out a way if I can actually do this. You know, I need this program. Man, I must be sick. I'm sorry.
Where's Mel?
What?
Where's the beer holder?
You need a beer holder.
That's an extension.
Yeah, so we'll move this over here out of the way so we can work on the beer holder. Let's take, first of all, it doesn't have to be real super thick, so we can bring this down.
Could be a clip-on.
Yeah, because, okay, so let's bring this, let's just make that 6 just to be different, right? And whatever the dimension is for a beer,
Hey,
I
Matt.
don't know, about like so, right?
It's like 3.14.
Yeah, so we'll just put that right here, just so that it will
I got that, Brian.
be part of the controller, right? And then we need some pins to be able to set the beer down inside of so that it doesn't fall, right?
Yeah.
So we'll just put those like that, you know, Control D, move it up, grab a.
It's time.
Again,
We don't want
Mel
to.
is designing a controller for the smart control, a holder for the smart controller.
We don't want it to. We don't want the beer to spill. So these have to be kind of tall, right?
At least
Can't-
3.14 inches.
Can't. We can't let the beer spill. So if I could just get a hold of that right there.
Okay, I'm good for another 10 minutes.
50. Whoops, wrong one. Another whoops, Jim.
We don't like whoopses here.
50.
Well, actually, we're in design stage, so it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
no, I can see. So that'd be off centered now, man.
Control.
Your controller's going to be leaning to the right like a son of a gun.
So the only way to circumvent that is put another one on the other side.
Yeah, you'd have to go double barrel.
Well, okay, so let's group all this together so that it stays there and I don't lose it, right? Just for now. So the other side, what would you like to have on the other side?
Oh God. Mike says the foam version of this I have has a can for a whole beer holder, and the whole thing is styrofoam. Rick wants it to hold 24 ounces.
Okay. Ungroup. Let's see if I can do this. If I move that over there and then group, whoops. You guys are busting me up. I know it. Okay. So I'm going to group that. Now I'm going to duplicate it. Control D. Control D. I'm going to move it over here. Right. And let's rotate it 90 degrees. Let's put this back. Let's put this one down here. And we'll put this one down here. And voila, you have 24 ounces.
The Force and His wisdom are all around us. Ask your will a yes or no question. Sense the Force in my left hand. Press it and answer you. I will.
I don't know why we didn't ask him first.
Who is that? The Grunion?
No, that was Yoda.
Yoda.
Is Mel? What happened to Mel's mic?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
My mic's still there.
Okay.
We went from I need to what is this? I need to look in the shed for it. Oh, you actually are you serious? You made one? What refrigerant? I swear it has a can holder built in.
What's
Somehow I believe that, Mike. Hey, what's up, Tony?
How you doing?
Squirrel.
Adjustable slots for different controllers, Bob says. Yeah, it needs a whole lot of stuff.
Actually, you could sell that thing.
I was
If
going
you
to say,
sat there and just made 'em.
Well, see, the problem is, you know how many hours that would take to print on a 3D printer?
The bottom one is just a block, so a PLA, so you could actually make it thinner.
It has to be strong enough to be able to support the weight, though. And remember, it's PLA, so it's going to flex. It's going to bow. To do it all and do it right. If you were going to 3D print it, you would have to 3D print it out of that metal filament and then sinter it, or print it out of carbon fiber, one or the other, because it's got to be strong enough to be dependable. I would no more hang my $700 smart controller on PLA brackets than the man in the moon.
Well, seriously, though, has anybody ever put that thing on a scale? How heavy is that?
The smart controller?
Yeah, because I'm thinking if you have a piece of plastic underneath it, that in itself is a support. Is it not?
Say again?
If you have a flat piece of plastic underneath it, that is a support by a smart controller. It's not really going to bend and break.
Well, true. But the arms that come up that your lanyard's hooked to?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
24.3 ounces.
Is the beer?
690 grams.
Oh.
You asked how much a smart controller weighed, so I answered you, right?
690 grams?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
690 grams, 24.3 ounces.
All right, Brian.
Pound and a half.
So,
that's it? Pound and a half?
Yeah, 1.5 pounds. Well, there's 16 ounces in a pound, Jim. Do the math.
That's all that thing weighs? And we're talking about it being heavy?
That goes back to the original thing, though, about my iPad and this controller. It's just as heavy, and it's much more off balance. So something like that would be a better setup.
Sure, it would. Now, give me some 3/16 aluminum sheet stock and stuff, and I'll mill it and make it and have threaded, stuff to it.
All for $39?
Well, no.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. That come from China probably or something. Mine'll be American made. American.
Tony, what you been up to?
Turn your mic on, brother. We can't hear you. No, you're muted. It's probably on, but you're muted.
It's muted on screen, it shows.
There you go.
USB ports around. Yeah, nothing good, that's for sure. No, I've been all right, man. Running for selectman in my town right now, so that's been taking a lot of my time. The whole town's up on its ear with just how the budget's going to work and everything with all this crap that's going on in the world.
You're in Boston, correct?
What's going on? Yes. Well, I'm in Massachusetts, not in Boston. I'm in central western Mass, but yeah, I'm in Massachusetts.
Oh.
So, but
no wonder,
doing
the
that.
nice one. Okay.
Doing my squirrel thing, and we started revamping Viewed This, and I got a big problem with that channel. And the big problem I'm having with that channel is every time I feature someone, they change their channel name, they change their playlist, so they just go radio silent and disappear. I'm really getting sick of it, man. I recorded 5 episodes and I can only use 1 out of the 5 because people change channels or went on the lam. It's just horrible. So we're gonna change the format of it a little bit. My son and I have been talking. We're gonna relaunch similar format, but a little bit different where we won't get burnt so bad.
All right, let me do a little background here. Tony,
Sure.
who's talking right now, has a YouTube channel called View This, and he profiles and highlights channels like ours or other people's. Actually, he does a lot of different subjects, content, and the people are changing their channel names and all that stuff.
It's tough because I look back and look at all the episodes we've done, and there's so many of them that either change their name or they're not even around anymore. So it's very hard. And people told me that at the beginning. They're like, "Listen, man, you're taking a risk doing this because you're going to have people disappear on you and everything else." But I wanted to make a go at it, and I wanted to at least make it, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to like a top 5 video thing every week, so we can highlight 5 different creators in a video that they've done that we think is worthy of you going and checking out. And we're just going to tell people while you're over there, check it out. If you like the channel, by all means, stick around. So we'll still be promoting channels, but we'll be doing it through a video, and that way we're promoting the video and not the actual creator. The creator as well, but it's a little less risky that way.
Yeah,
So
because
that's what
unless
we're
they
gonna do.
delete the video, that'd still be there, and it'd still take you to that creator.
Absolutely. So we're doing that, and then I started my own project on the side. I started a second channel called Hey Look Squirrel. That's the one that I upload to the most right now. I've been doing usually 2 or 3 videos a day almost, but my squirrel channel is not for the light of heart. It's just a channel for me to go on and unleash anger. Kind of, but I started doing a series of FU videos where I basically tell everybody, F off, and then but they're videos that are made for you to send to your friends, so like you find, you go on there and you find my FU Jim and you send it to Jim, that's what they're for. They're funny videos to share around with people,
That's what I do, except I'm usually serious, and I usually do it on other people's channels. And it usually involves something about kissing my fat white ass.
Yeah.
Except I'm shouting and screaming and off the charts,
I do some of that too. If I need to, I can be more, if I need to, I can be a little more subdued like I am now, obviously. But I enjoy bringing the squirrel out when I go visit people's channels sometimes and telling everybody on channel to F off or whatever. It all depends on how, I'm not going to come on Jim's channel and disrespect him, but the channels that are more goofy and this is a more serious conversation, so I would do that here. But, I mess around with people. It's a good time. But I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but I appreciate you sending me an invite, Jim. It's always good to catch up with you, and I'll be hanging out here, and I'll throw my 2 cents in whenever I understand what you're talking about, which will probably be not much.
we were talking just general trash about designing things and making things and
We went from HDR video and compared to HDR effects, because a lot of us drone guys
and I missed that part of the show.
trying to put our best foot forward, but we're limited by the software that can do it, to do the color Rec 2020. And then when you have DJI advertising HDR on their drones, but they're really talking about auto exposure bracketing, which takes a 0.07 picture higher, picture in the middle, and a picture lower, takes the 3, mixes them together, and adds color.
Oh, okay.
Calls it HDR. But whatever.
Jim, may I be excused for a minute?
Yes, sir.
You keep waving that cigarette around and you're making me nuts here. So I'll be back in just a couple minutes.
I got a fan running because it's hot in my house. Can you hear the fan?
No, you're cool.
Not
Don't
enough
worry
to worry about.
All right.
That's Brian above you, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
What's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
And Brad's here.
Hey.
We all met each other on Jim's show, right?
Yeah. Yeah, back when Jim was still doing a show.
Now, Jim did a show that should have taken off. It was called the Video Call-In Show.
Yeah.
And you got to call in. He was doing it on Zoom, and we all sit there and talk. He'd have a subject of the day, but you could stray from that. No big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but it never went big time. You just can't pick YouTube, man.
It started to get better and better and better, and then he got hurt, and that was the downfall. That was that once Jim got hurt at the beginning of the year, and then he tried, starting to flex back, and then coronavirus hit. And, it's too bad. He's an incredible host. He's an incredible person.
He is.
I'm proud to have become friends with him. He's a great guy. And who knows, he still may resurface. I mean, he tried to make a comeback and do like a Sunday, and then he just disappeared again. So I don't know what's going on. But, beyond this screen that we all look into and beyond these panels that we sit on and we talk and all that, nobody really knows what's going on in everyone's life.
That's right.
You don't know if somebody's broke or if somebody's, and I don't mean Jim, I'm just saying
financially
overall.
broke. Yeah.
You don't know if somebody's got, health issues, financial issues, emotional issues, you know what I mean? Like you don't know. So it's, listen, I love the guy like a brother. I think he's amazing. I think he has it for this platform. He's got a great voice. He's got, I think
He fell off a ladder, right?
he fell off a high ladder, landed and broke his ankle.
Pins and all.
Yeah. Oh, it's a mess. So, but yeah, great guy. I mean, it's kind of, Brad's a good example, like we had kind of had this little kind of private group forever behind the scenes that we all bounced ideas off each other. We all talked, and it was kind of like our own little private group of YouTube friends that all had gotten together and everything. And Brad and I are the only two left, I think, now. This still chatting away in that group, and it's sad, So
what group?
It was just a group of guys, just a small handful of people that we all just people that I had made friends with early on YouTube. We all kind of made friends together. We were all starting at the same time. There was 5 of us, and back when they had the YouTube chat going, it was just we had that chat constantly going, and then we moved it to Discord. Just some friends of mine on YouTube. Brad's one of them, and Jim was one of them. And there's 2 other guys, but so yeah. But now it's just Brad and I who talk. So, and I really wish, it's weird. It becomes personal with people. YouTube, it becomes personal. You start to get to know people, and even if it's a channel that you like and you've never met the person, talk to them on panel, just conversing with them. Just conversing with them in the comments sometimes will do that, and all of a sudden they, oh no, what's going on? So I don't know. It's tough.
Is he coming back? Because you talked to him on
I haven't talked to
Twitter or anything like that. I know he's not big on Facebook.
No, I haven't spoken with him. I don't know.
All right.
I tried. Jim was in the green room for.
Is he saying Al saying that he was in our green room? Because I did not see you, Al.
I don't know, man. Usually you got a second to powder your nose when you get into a green room somewhere. I jumped in the green room. You had me on the screen. Quick lickety split.
Thank you. See, I pay attention. Brian does too. Brian, you caught me pretty quick when I came on yours too.
Yeah, I know. Well, who do I usually ever get? Luckily, I got you that day.
Yeah, but we had fun.
I had to hire Fred.
Brian, I'll be your friend as long as you don't make me swearing at you a lot.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Al. We'll wait for you to jump in. I had this screen up. Where was this? This was on the different channels, Brian, that talk about HDR, and they're not really HDR, including my own software.
Oh, I was wondering what you were doing with this, because I was kind of looking at it and I said, well, there's HDR, but what does this mean?
See, there's that power director, but it's exactly what it says. It's not real HDR. It's HDR Effect.
Yeah.
And there's a button in there when you drag up the color. That's all it's doing.
Hey, we got an Al.
Who's this guy?
We got an Al Diaz.
This guy right to my right here. Look, this guy right here.
Tony.
It's like my brother. What's up, Tony?
Hey, is your brother? Hold on, I got a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind. Is your brother's name Tony?
No, his name is Eric.
Is he this good looking?
He looks just like you, dude.
It's tough. It's tough.
He looks just like you. I thought it was my brother on the other line.
I thought it was Wolfman Jack.
Remember that?
Hey, Jim, see the hat? See that? It's curved.
I can't. Oh, it's curved. Yes.
Yeah, that's how I usually wear my hats. But when they're styled the flat way, can't wear it that way.
The official way to wear a hat. Thank you.
No, sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry I'm late. I was actually flying.
Singleton hats.
Is that what they call cigarettes over there? Rendered HDR. They're just adding color to it, Mike.
What are you talking about, Jim?
We were talking about the fact that even things like the Mavic 2 Here, let me. Where is that? Oh, I think I took that down. The Mavic 2 Air says that it catches outputs HDR video, but we were talking about what the HDR really is. It's the exposure bracketing and then adding color. That's what DJI does to it, and that's on my software. It's just really saturating the color, oversaturating it on the Power Director. It calls it HDR Effect.
HDR Effect.
Yeah, there's no Rec 2020. There's none of that nonsense. They don't have it.
I think it's a baked-in effect, like you would in your 48, right? Your 48 megapixel picture. How it shoots in JPEG, like the Mavic 2 Air 2.
Yeah,
when it shoots HDR,
that's
it's kind of like probably overly sharpened.
The quad Bayer filter. You know what I found funny as hell is that the Samsung S20 phone uses the same sensor, the IMX 586. There's the IMX 383 and 586. And you know what was funny? You know how people say, oh, these drones are going to be spying us and all that crap? From years ago, they've been saying it for years.
Right.
I saw, as soon as that S20 cell phone came out, smartphone from Samsung, I saw people writing that because it'll zoom 108 times in. And I saw people, it was a tech review that said people will be spying on each other. I mean, this is getting crazy.
Wait a minute, though, Jim. Wait.
Did they get the proper FISA warrants to do that?
They're not hard to come by.
No, they're pretty easy these days, right?
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, buddy.
We're getting back to HDR, and I brought this up in the video, but I want to do another share screen here.
Good. Go right ahead.
Okay. This, if I get it up, she said.
Got it.
This is a video, and I put this in the video. This is 4K at 60 frames. Okay.
Right.
Got that? Good.
Does it shoot at 60 frames?
This one is, yes.
Okay.
This one is HDR, same night, same exact everything. And I start punching in on it. This is HDR now.
It's breaking
Brian,
up.
What
And I get
drone?
it.
What drone is this?
Mavic 2 Air.
This is Mavic Air 2.
Air 2.
Mavic Air 2.
Mavic Air 2. I think that's as close. That was like an 8 times punch. Or
Is that,
this one it?
Brian, is that a noise problem I'm seeing or a banding?
Well, all I'm getting at is I'm going to leave that right there because on the other one, you couldn't even make the definition of the sun. HDR brings out the full definition of the sun. There's a lot of noise there because I'm punched in 8 times, except when you go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And it, there's that. And like I said, on this other one, where am I at here? This is 4K at 60. And you see, this is the usual blob you get whenever you're looking at the sun.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying about HDR. There is some uses for it. But that's all I had.
As far as I understand it, from what they said, they shoot 0.07 above, and then you got your normal shot, and then 0.07 below in the exposure bracketing. If that's the same thing they're doing for their HDR, I don't know. I don't know how they're coloring it or how calling it.
Jim, today I went out and filmed just now. Went out to get some test footage on Apple Park. Of course, I got clearance through Lank, and first time I actually filled the whole length of the video in HQ.
Now
on the Mavic 2 Pro.
Okay, so that video you had of that round building, was that Google or Apple Park? That was Google, right?
That's Apple.
It is Apple?
It is, yeah.
Okay. And so now you have it in HDR?
I've never filmed it in HDR, HLG, the high dynamic range feature. But I'm just kind of curious to see what comes out. Yeah, I filmed it. I got it on the drone right now. I was getting bad transmission and breakup. I don't know if it was because it was hot. I'm sure it's a lot of things. The environment was very hot. It's about 98.
Yeah,
And,
man. Rick said it was 104.
And I was using usually I use the OEM transmitter because it's better than this the smart control to get better range. But
Wow.
man, I could not get far like I normally do.
Brian, did you hear that?
I
What
heard.
is that new? I
Wait a
didn't know that. I've never heard that.
What's that?
That range.
I was having an issue. I think it's the time of the day. I think a lot of people home. I think it was hot. Of course, me filming from inside the car because it was hot and I had the AC on probably didn't help. But my transmission wasn't very good, man. It kind of sucked. So a lot of the shots I hope to get smooth shots.
I cannot fly from the inside of my truck. Too much metal.
Oh, okay. You know what?
And I wish I could.
Wait,
It gets hot.
they had Al. Do you remember this years ago when the Phantom 4 came out? They had an antenna that suction cups to the roof of your car, and the wire would come in through your window, and you just turned it on into your antenna slot. Anybody in chat remember that? That's about 5 years.
I had a girlfriend one time who wasn't wearing underwear and had a miniskirt on. She sat on the hood of my truck. Same suction cup effect. That's all, though, I got.
That's like an octopus.
Right. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. I know where you're. James Bond.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Yes.
Not suitable for work.
No, not suitable for work.
Hopefully you washed off that snail trail.
Like getting pine
So who came on tonight, Matt? Was this from the beginning to the end? Who you have in your panel right now, Jim?
Yeah. Ron was on,
Okay,
and
Donnie Osmond was on earlier. You missed that. That was cool.
nice.
is he still alive?
I don't know.
I would think he is.
I think so. Yeah. I think he's like Eric Estrada. He's not
No.
real, so he's never going to die.
Mike, it doesn't have to do with video rendering. It has to do with getting the video in 10-bit or 12-bit in the first place, and then being able to color grade that. You can't take JPEG and make it.
Can you use 8-bit video and film it in HLG? I never even tried that. I don't know.
You can't.
I don't think you can. H264. I mean, sorry about that.
No, it won't let you.
You guys should start doing what I do. Get much better results. Just record everything on an iPhone. Be done with it. You guys are talking tech. I'm like, man,
Tony. Edit. You must not fly drones, huh? I take it.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Brian, I have a drone up behind me over there on the shelf. Over there, there's a black plastic drone, super fucking cheap. I wanted to get a drone, and my wife bought me one for Father's Day like 2 years ago. And my neighbor flies drones, and I brought it over to him and was like, hey, teach me, can you help me out with this? And even he couldn't. He's like, I can't even control this fucking thing, and I fly drones all the time. He's like, it's a piece of crap. I'm sorry, dude. I'm like, yeah, I know it is. I'm just trying to fly it with my kids so that my wife feels better. Oh well.
Never any more interest past that?
Oh, I do, but I just feel bad because I don't fly the one she bought me. My wife does this to me. She buys me things that aren't exactly what I want, and then I feel bad about getting the thing I actually want and saying what you bought me sucked. So it's kind of a catch-22.
You don't like the one I got you? Why don't you fly the one I got you? What's the difference?
Fucking Brian understands. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. So I'd like to get one someday, but
Hey, Mel.
Hey, Al.
How you doing?
Doing good. Hey, guys, Jim, thanks for letting me come in for a little bit. But it's 20 minutes to 10, and I got to get up at 4:30. So I'm going to gracefully say good evening to everybody. Good evening, everybody.
Nice meeting you.
No. Good night.
It's good to chat with you for a couple minutes, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, have fun. Thank you, Jim. We'll see you later.
See you, man.
This is what I was talking about. The Mavic 2 Pro will shoot 10-bit. Okay, in HLG, it's a color mode. I believe it's in the color setting, right, Al?
It is.
Okay, and it says HLG, and then the other setting is it makes you go into H265, and you just hit the D-Log, and then you will get the 10-bit data And that's what you're bringing back the color on. So you got to have that data in the first place. Normal for us on our drones is 8-bit. When you go into the Mavic 2 Pro, you're getting 10-bit, and on the X5S, you're getting 12-bit.
12-bit.
But you're starting with that data, and then, Al, you're taking it into your program. You're using Final Cut, one of the 3 programs that do it. And then you have to bring back that color.
With the HDR tools.
The HDR tools, which is Rec 2020.
Yes, Rec 2020. I think it's either on a PQ or HLG timeline. I haven't tried the HLG. I think that gives you a little bit more flexibility when you're messing with the colors.
And that just stands for Hyper Log Gamma, which is, you'll know that on your 4K TVs, which are cheap now. $250 this thing was.
Yeah, I got mine for pretty cheap at what, Best Buy? 4K. Roku.
I'll tell you what, though, when you get a true monitor, they're still crazy money.
I know, that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know why. I don't know why. To get a true 4K monitor, how much difference of the color could there be between that and a 4K, the best 4K TV?
I think it's because of the way it's being processed through the GPU and the CPU. You've got those on the flat screens, but not, they're dedicated to that picture. Whereas you're dealing with a computer. Computer's doing 10 million other things all at once besides trying to keep that picture in front of you.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's got something to do with it.
So it's some huge. I know that I had to, on this computer, the color gambit. Like, I think I can even show you this on my screen. It's called HD color. HD color. You just type that into your Windows at the bottom, type HD color in there, and then open it. And you'll see if I can. Now, I don't know. I can't share my screen to show this.
I'm about to shut my computer off. I better be careful.
It's under settings. Is that it?
No. Where the hell's... Oh, there it is. What is it, Jim? HD what? HD colors?
I think Jim might have frozen.
He just turned off his computer, I'll bet. Because I almost hit it just now.
Information overload.
It went to bang.
Good night, Jim. Good having you on panel, buddy.
Hey, somebody get Jim's
There
link.
he goes. He came back.
Oh, it's two Jims.
See that?
Did you
Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
Oh, God. It's about the 8th time I've done that. Now, how do I get rid of that? Because there's no stop sharing there.
No, it's gone. I see
Okay.
just one now.
It just went. The nice thing about what I pressed on settings and it shut down Chrome because it wanted to change the settings on the screen. So then I just hit Chrome again and it asked me, do you want to restore the Chrome tabs you had open? So I said, yeah. And then I hit on StreamYard and here I am.
Jim Night Train's asking what's HZ?
HD.
HD color. What hertz is he saying? 144 hertz. If that's what you're talking about, Mike. Because I have the I don't know what this computer is 144. I know that. But this computer screen is only a 1080 screen. So, and it won't get the HD color on here. So when I got the 4K TV and I can turn on the HD color and all that, the wide color gambit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that my NVIDIA card is sending that information to the TV through the HDMI output.
Okay.
Which, Al, was a whole nother story because apparently not all outputs on your computer are created equal. They have to be 2.0A in order to send a true HDR signal over to the TV. It's, again, too much. It's like going into the analytics of your damn YouTube channel. Do I really need to know all this crap?
I wonder how hard it'd be to set up my MacBook to a 4K TV, because right now the monitor is 2.7. So anytime I'm kind of editing that HLG just based off the looms on the graph, you know, as far as I could take it, and then I upload it to YouTube, and then I go to my 4K TV, and then I view it on that.
So you don't know what it looks like until you're already done.
Until I'm like rendered it, rendered it. But I do have an extra 4K TV in the garage, but the whole hooking up to the laptop and stuff like that, I don't know if I could do it, especially on a Mac.
That's the problem. MacBook. Do you have a Mac port where you can do different connections into it? A hub. Thank you.
A hub. I have a hub. I do have a hub.
Hey, Al.
Yeah.
How about a USB?
What was that?
How about a thumb drive, USB thumb drive? Because what I do, my wife will not, she will not let me put anything up on YouTube till she's critiqued it. So I have to take it on a USB drive, take it downstairs to the TV, and she gets to watch it full screen. And it's either thumbs up, thumbs down, or I don't really care because I put it up anyway.
Okay.
I'm sure your wife watches your content.
I know, right?
A thumb drive will hold whatever you need to do to bring it to the TV.
Yeah,
At least you know you got one viewer, Brian.
Yeah. Like 3 weeks ago, my wife's like, "You got a YouTube channel?"
Okay.
That's cold-blooded.
It's an extra 3 steps in the workflow, Brian, but that's what I've been.
Is it a 2 terabyte?
Hey, Al.
Now,
do you only have one port? A USB-C 3.1?
I have one, but I have an adapter connecting to it. That's at the end of my desk. So
right.
I can connect everything off into that.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think it has an HDMI port as well. I don't know.
If you got a display port or an HDMI port, you should be able to run the cord right to the 4K TV.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I have
that's
one
what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
I have one on the back end. I'll have to give that a try.
And I know that since it's a Mac, that your display port is at least 1.4. So you're in good shape.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Return of the Mac.
Whereas my Asus was only a 1.2. We won't talk about that because I bought the display port adapter and all that crap, and guess what didn't work? Yep, waste of money.
I think that happens to all of us when we do stuff like that.
Mike says I put near 1,500 into this PC for 4K 2.7 video editing. Yeah, man.
Wow.
This computer was 1,800 when I bought it 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's time for me to get a new computer. But I'm a Mac guy. I'm an iOS. I'm not a PC. I've been using iOS for like 5 years.
And it's hard to go
Pro. Yeah, it's hard to go. It's a little bit tough. So I'm going to stay with Mac as long as I can. Or iOS.
I run the, let me show you this stupid setup. It is the cheapest, stupidest setup. This is the computer, right? It's a laptop.
That's what I have.
There's my SSD drive right there. Now, the reason that the SSD
how much space you got on that drive?
That's a terabyte right there.
Okay.
It should be in this thing, the adapter. But I needed that USB-C to plug this damn camera into, this Logitech Brio. So there's my ports. That's to the, obviously, the internet. There's the HDMI to the TV. That's the USB 3 to the camera I'm holding. And there's the earplugs I'm
Shit,
wearing.
you got way more
Where do you use those
way more
solar
ports
things
than I
for?
have.
That's the 4K TV right next to it. That's all it is. Laptop to the 4K TV.
That's a pretty good setup, though, Jim. Just the same.
Oh, it's as cheap as you can get, though. You can't get any cheaper than that.
Does it
Not
work?
what I was going for, but I was
Your laptop-
doing
You can't use your laptop camera.
my laptop screen is only a 1080p. Oh, the laptop camera sucks.
Oh, does it?
Oh, it's a UVC. What is that crap? What is UVC?
This is my laptop camera I'm using. It's better than my webcam that I had.
I was gonna say, dude, I thought that was a regular webcam.
It says USB 2.0 HD UVC web. Here, let me just put it on. Yeah, that's it right there.
Oh yeah, that's garbage.
That is
Not
correct.
garbage. It'll work, but it's not as good as your other camera. This is much better for me. I just got this computer 2 months ago. When I got this, it has like a 4K fucking webcam. Sorry, 4K
No,
webcam in it.
It actually looks good.
So yeah, so I've been using it to record like product reviews and stuff like that, and obviously for streaming. But yeah,
I've got right behind this screen is a 6 terabyte. Check this out. $128, Brian. Western Digital, 6 terabytes.
Yeah.
Is that the cloud or is that a?
No, it's the MyBook.
what
It's
are you doing to have that many terabytes of information in store?
You know how fast
Video.
this 1 terabyte fills up with video from a drone? It takes about 1 day to fill that up.
Wow.
I film everything because you never know when what you have is important, because they're building around here so much that when my drone goes up in the air, it's already filming.
Right.
Yeah. One of the biggest things I learned first off is hit the record button before you hit the up button.
How many times have we forgotten in the past?
Yeah, I'm half mile away and going, oh, gee, I'm not recording any of this. Great. That's good.
Don't forget the micro SD card.
Right?
Well,
I'm notorious for that.
Yep.
Well, the app will usually tell you, though, if you don't have an SD card.
Yeah. I don't fire the app up before I leave the house.
Of course, by then it's too late and you're not near the Best Buy or a Walmart.
Oh yeah.
I'll be right back, Jim.
Once you go Mac, you can't go back.
He's right about that. I started off PC and I had to leave it.
Yeah.
Because my computer was crashing too much and some security issues, and it's probably just me downloading stuff I shouldn't have downloaded.
The thing about it is they've really made PC better over the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even use antivirus stuff anymore. I just let Windows Defender handle it, and I've been doing that now for 5 or 6 years.
It really does a good job. I mean, I use malware bytes, but I don't get complicated with antivirus either.
Not anymore.
I don't buy any of that. And plus, every time I shut off before I shut off the computer, I run CC Cleaner. You ever tried that, Brian? It gets rid of all the damn cookies.
Yeah, no, I've heard of it. What the hell? I'm running something like that on mine because it annoys the hell out of me. So yeah, I know I've got something like that, especially when it comes to the cookies. And
I mean,
other shit.
Yeah, it'll sit there and show you like 2,000 little files when you've been going through different.
And all those are just temporary files that need to be gotten rid of anyway.
Yep. The only reason that Scott built his own tower. And that's the reason that I go with PC is because you can add stuff. Like you can buy low, like I did when I bought this laptop. I think it had 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I've got it running at 32 gigabytes of RAM now. You get to buy
you guys are all PC brainiacs. You know, my son's the same way. He bought cheap, and then he started building a top. My son's computer in his room is insane. He could play the online games he plays and all that stuff. I mean, it's all
the GPU card can cost you $1,000.
Yeah, so I don't know anything about that stuff.
The thing about it is the Mac.
It's easy.
The big boxes on the Macs, every component in there now is just as interchangeable as it is on a PC.
Is it? I thought it
It
was
is.
just proprietary. You couldn't like
No, not
open it
anymore.
up
They
and-
went with Intel like 10 years ago. So
Okay.
once they went with Intel, they had to go with everybody else's RAM and motherboard and everything. So cat's out of the bag. I mean, there's nothing. The only thing special about an Apple now is the fact that it's running iOS. You know, and that's really, which is a lot more versatile, if you ask me, than Windows anything. You know, but part component wise, an Apple can be built pretty easily now, not cheaply. You know, that CPU and that GPU, all the components are still going to be costly. But it's like I said, you start low and cheap, and then like a year later, what was it? You know, I added an SSD drive, and then I just went to an M2 drive, and last week I threw in another 16 gigs of RAM for make it 32, and blah blah blah. You just do it little by little.
Yeah, see, that's my next project is just to focus on a better computer. I've been buying drones and stuff like that. I need to
Scott, can you jump
work on
in for
the
a second?
computer side.
Scott Fichter, he built his own computer, and he's got a killer, man. He's got a killer setup. I think I sent you the link. The app, but that's the reason I always stay with the PC is because I can add all this crap.
Saying you have to use specific parts, and I was under the impression that since they started using Intel CPUs were anybody's motherboard could work them, and once you get anybody's motherboard in there, that really doesn't matter. I'd like him to come on now because I'd like to know that.
Yeah, he's gonna. He said stand by.
Good deal.
Because I liked what he did, and the reason why, Brian, is because I was looking at new computers, right? When you start looking at the things you and I want for editing, they're like $4 or $5 grand, and I want to get to down to what he put on his.
About 18 or 1900 to get going.
Well, that'd be fine, because that's what I paid for this stupid laptop.
You have a micro center where you're at, Jim?
No.
See, I deal with them. Those people are more knowledgeable than me. And if I have an idea and it doesn't sound right, they'll tell you, no, that component will not work with that one. You need to go with this or whatever.
You only had a little direction. Scott? Yeah. When he built his? Oh, Scott's looking for the email. Let me put the link up here. Where the hell is it? Oh, now I got to go get my email.
You wrote it
Why? Why? Can't I invite here?
Yeah.
Here. Go to clipboard. Okay.
I was going to say, did you write it on the wall or something?
Jesus, $900.
There's the link, Scott, in the chat.
Damn it, Scott. Move your ass.
Oh, Edge built one too? Pretty nice
for 900.
$900. Because I was looking at Micro Center rocks. I don't have one. That's like Radio Shack. Everything closes down once you go with internet.
Micro Center used to be a dump. Somebody must have bought them out.
Crazy Eddies.
So was Radio Shack.
Yeah, I remember Crazy Eddie.
He's insane.
Crazy Eddie.
Crazy Eddie. I remember that shit.
That guy went to jail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I remember commercials when I lived back east as a kid.
Because his prices were
Insane.
Hey, okay. If we're going to go there, who was the DJ that did that?
Oh.
No idea.
Man Jack.
Come on, man.
Was it, what did you say, Wolfman Jack? He said Wolfman Jack. Tony said Wolfman Jack.
It was a New York DJ. He was on, he spun him on WPIX and WABC at one time or another.
It wasn't Casey Kasem.
No. He was local to New York, but
PIX was Channel 11, a local New York channel.
it was also a radio station too. They had a radio station there. He did. He was on. He announced for Don Imus for a bit. Okay.
I was going to say Don Imus. I was going to just guess that, but I don't think it was Don Imus.
Don Imus for a bit, and I don't know. I think they might have had a falling out. Don Imus.
Who the hell was it?
Imus in the morning was great.
Murray the K.
I know that name.
Yeah. But Murray the K was the voice of Crazy Eddie. Yeah, I hated those commercials.
His prices are insane. I worked for Dell. Oh, I used to work for Dell for 4 years. Okay. I build ones all the time for people. I think put around 90. Wow. See, I was talking, I was watching a guy's video. He's got a i998, a CPU chip in there. And there's i10,000 chips. You got one too, Brian?
9900.
Wow. And you can get 64K of RAM on that, can't you? What is your board? You got a Z90 Pro? The 390?
MSI Z90, yeah.
Yeah, it is a Z390.
Yeah. And like I said, I went to Microsoft and said, look, I'm going to run Premiere Pro. I want to shoot, edit, and produce H265. Don't bull me. I know what I need. You make sure you tell me what I need. And they told me this is what you got to have.
And using Premiere? Is that what you're editing?
I'm going to. I'm about to start.
So what are you going to use for your GPU? Which one?
I've already got a NVIDIA 2060 RTX in there.
And
8 gigabytes of RAM.
That's good enough.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's going to get it done. I've tried benchmarking it and stressing it. Supposed to. I've hit 5.1 or 5.1 for a split second. I don't know what it's going to take to make this thing roll. I don't really want to know either, because the last one I had in there was it was based at 320. It would clock to 4.0, and when it hit 4.0, that thing literally screamed inside that box.
The max on this thing is 3.5 gigahertz. That's it.
It starts at 3.6, cruises usually around 4.65, and boosts to over 5.
How much you paid for that setup, or you build?
Ran me $1,500
for the build. $1,500. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
the GPU are the most expensive components.
Which the CPU and a GPU?
Yeah, they were around $400 each.
Okay, we got to talk though, Brian, because I want to definitely build my own. But here's the thing: I wasn't impressed with the Z390 Pro motherboard because it didn't have enough USB-C 3.2 generation 3.2 outputs. Because I want to run the TV, I have to run this camera. This Logitech Brio camera has to run on its own USB-C port.
It can't run a hub?
No. I had it on a hub, and I don't know. It doesn't like it. And they say specifically.
It definitely had, I think there's 2 or 3 less USB ports on the back than my old one.
Yeah.
I did notice that right off the bat, but like I said, I've got enough to run what I need. You know, I got 2 monitors, an external hard drive, printer. I think that's it. No,
yeah, but the mouse and the printer you can put on those 2 USB 2.0 ports.
Monitors, because they're coming out of the GPU. I'm seeing 4 USB plugs back there. So
2 of them are USB 2.0.
Probably. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What the hell is Scott? Anyway,
yeah. You could end this thing right here.
I thought you had to have 750 watt power supply.
Got one. I had that to start with, yeah.
Is that what you're using, honestly, a 750?
Yeah. That's been my base for years. I don't like using anything less. I mean, the specs, the guy at Micro Center said I can get by on 500. I don't care.
Yeah.
I've had a 750. I'm just going to keep with it. You know, it doesn't make any difference.
I wouldn't want to stress the thing. I'd rather go with a 750.
I've got 7 hard drives in there with room for 1 more.
Welcome, Scott.
There he is.
Get some.
About damn time.
Hello, Scott. Nice meeting you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Get some.
What's up, Scott?
No, I haven't gone live forever, and I'm like,
I know. Where the hell have you been?
Now you did this all for 1,500, Brian?
Yeah. Yep. Keep in mind though, like I said, I already got the case. You know. Oh, I'll tell you another thing that cost a little bit that I wasn't expecting, that I didn't really want to do, was the water or the CPU cooler. You know, it's liquid cooled, and I have stayed away from those for years because I don't know, it just bothered me having that stuff on the inside of your box circulating around. Because I'm always thinking cracked radiator hose. Oh, there.
Yeah.
You know, and there goes the inside of your PC.
I started looking at an F-131 from Mainframe. Who are these people? And as you started adding parts, the thousands went up. The goddamn thing had an aircraft quality paint finish. Are you kidding me? I don't want that. You know, and then you could color the water that was in the cooler, Brian.
Oh yeah. In fact, the app,
Yeah.
the MSI app allows you to change the lighting on the water. Number one, it also has these, I don't know, they're LEDs anyway. They circle the entire motherboard, and into the motherboard, you can change the patterns that they show up in. So if you're wanting to drop acid, this is just the best way to go, and you can stare at the thing all day long. If you got a window anyway.
I'm a little too old for that these days, but appreciate the heads up.
Yeah, right.
Hey, this is just history, man. I just know what I'm talking about.
Sure. I mean, I'm not going to tell you we need some mushrooms. If I walk by some cow crap and there's some mushrooms growing, I might do that. But
Little psilocybin. Get the Scott. What did you use for a CPU GPU combo?
I used a i7, I think is what I got. It's been a long time now. It's pretty good. I built the system thinking that I wanted it to be quiet. I wanted a quiet case, you know. So the thing's centered around being cool and being quiet and being, you know, having a pretty decent processor so I can encode my video quickly. So it's been a blessing. It's been, you know, I initially started out with Windows, and then when Vista came out. Remember Vista?
Yeah.
And I was like, screw this, I'm done. I'm divorcing Windows. I'm going to Mac. And then I had a Mac for a couple years, and I had a 05 iMac for a long time, and it started failing, and I had to take it into the shop, and you know, and they will rape you. I mean, Mac will destroy you with cost if you're not aware of what's going on. Like I took a MacBook Air in one time. They quoted me at $90. I took it home and fixed it for $15. You know, it's just like,
but at least they smile when they're screwing you, so that's good. You know?
Yeah. So I got tired of that, you know, that repair cost kind of scheme that they play. So I'm like, well, you know, OBS has this thing called Virtual Cam, which means that you can, you know, start up OBS and use OBS as a camera source. So technically, I could go in right now and start up OBS, and you know, have all the whiz-bangy bells and whistles that OBS provides. But Macs can't do it easily. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go with a PC. I'm going to pull the trigger. And I got to be honest with you guys. I'm really impressed. I mean, it's Windows operating system. You're dealing with the, it's kind of like an analogy where you got a bull in a china shop, you know, knocking down glass. It's kind of rough and tumble. A loose box of chains where a Mac is kind of like a ballet dancer. It's very elegant and smooth, and they think about everything in regards to the interface. You don't have to worry about anything because everything's figured out. But God help you if you have to start figuring stuff out. And you're out. You have to go outside the garden in regards to fixing things. There's not a lot of mental energy outside the box in regards to Mac usage. You know, it's out there, but it's not like the community for PC, in my opinion. I think there's a lot more tinkering. I don't know.
You know, I feel like I've got a halfway decent laptop here. It's like a gaming laptop that I'm using now that I picked up a few months ago. But listening to you guys talk, I might as well have a banana plugged into a fucking potato over here.
That's what I'm thinking.
It really
going
is
over my head. That's why
It's
I like Mac.
insanity.
It's simple and easy for me.
Right.
Look at
All
this.
PC talk is blowing my mind.
Wait, pick your automotive paint color, boys. I'm absolutely serious. these people with their options are it's insanity. And if you add anything,
is that hundreds of dollars for a paint job?
oh yes,
Hundreds of dollars for a paint job.
look, $600
$600.
Are you
for
serious?
red green chameleon.
But
600.
it is red green chameleon. I mean, come on.
This is why people go into factories like this with a gun and start shooting people.
Yeah.
They ordered a computer. They're like, "What color do you want?" "Oh, I'll take the orange." "Oh,
Oh,
okay."
wait a minute. It's extra if you want artwork on there. Another $250.
Yeah.
I could have sworn that I went into a Best Buy a couple months ago and I saw a case, PC case,
All right.
that was translucent, and it had what looked to be like a semi-translucent screen. It was showing graphics on it. I kid you not.
I'd pay that kind of money for a computer if I could just get a statue of myself giving you the middle finger spinning around inside the case for everybody to see. That'd be fun.
See, Brian, I can't even get the 2060 here. It's 2070 or nothing.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
No, I don't even understand what SLI is.
I don't either.
SLI is just a definition of it's support. You can put two of these cards side by side with SLI.
Right.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what SLI will let you do. You can
see, I
put
didn't
two
know
of these monster cards in one case.
You see where it says dual graphics cards?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And it's only in a $570 add-on, which is cool.
Yeah.
Nothing.
How many cores does that have?
What's it got, Brian? You got the 2060, right?
I got the 2060 cores. I have no idea. I mean, all I really when you're dealing with graphics cards, all I care about is RAM and how fast it is, because that's how fast the picture is going to be on your screen.
Now,
It
with a
won't.
computer like that, how often do you change the oil and the transmission fluid?
Every 6 months.
Every 6 months.
And by the way, Jim, when you started at the top of that page,
Yeah.
showing that whole PC, I was looking at the specs on it.
Yeah.
Mine's better.
I bet it is.
And I did the math on mine after it was finished, and I priced it as to what's out there, and it was $2,400. And like I said, I built it for $1,500.
See, I actually thought it would have been more than that because
And here's the thing, though, like they go to $5,000 easy.
yes,
They do have the dual cards. They do have what is that? The new Ryzen that's supposed to be even better than Intel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
The
Yes.
CPUs are like $1,200, $1,299. You know, come on. What do you need?
I think the secret with buying hardware for PC is not to buy the newest stuff first.
Exactly. I've done that for years.
Yeah.
let it sit.
Let it
Yep.
sit. It's hard to do, but when you commit to it, you really can
Look at-
save some good bucks.
Look at these cores, Scott.
Ooh, an i9.
i9 10900X, 10 cores. This one boosts
want
to
20 cores.
5.3 gigahertz.
How come I can't get 20 cores?
That's no
Yeah.
joke.
Well, I tell you what, you'll be rendering video in seconds instead of
Yeah.
hours.
No doubt.
Awesome.
Holy Christ, 18 cores.
God, why would you need that?
Well, you got to impress the ladies on, the girls that are into the cores. You know?
I don't know
guys,
what you could ever do.
Hey, while you're
Jim?
sharing screen, can you remove that comment so we can at least see Scott down there?
Oh, I'm
Right now,
sorry.
Scott's a dragon. There he is.
Jim, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go make something to eat. Brian, take care. Tony, take care. Scott,
Yeah.
nice meeting you. Tony,
Nice
I
meeting
met
you.
you before. Brian, you guys take care.
Hi,
Take
Al.
care.
Later.
Good seeing you, brother. Peace out.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was looking at those prices and I'm like, well, maybe I'll sit here and hang on to this laptop a little longer.
That's why I said,
I
man,
was
as
looking
long
at
as
those
it's
prices
working.
and realizing that I'm going to have to get divorced before I can buy one of those. It's true.
But then to hear that you did it for 1,500 with a 2060, I mean, if you're doing 4K video, that's all you're ever going to need. I mean, come on.
I'm not doing video that needs. I'm not doing stuff like you guys are more into visually appealing video. I'm more into take away as much of me as you can because I'm not as visually appealing, so it's okay. Like really, I could just edit
This
my
is
videos.
appealing?
I could. Well, no,
Really?
but your camera takes appealing video. So
But there is one more thing, though, about this PC.
you're gonna mention how good looking I am. Go ahead, and I'll let you go.
Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming out. Allegedly, they've been coming out now for 3 months, and I'm still waiting with a new flight simulator. It's pulling down 15 terabytes off the internet to use it.
Oh my
Holy
God.
Christ.
Are you kidding me?
If you fly over, for instance, your home, you can see your home from whatever altitude you are flying from.
Okay.
They're using Google Earth Maps as well as a bunch of other
Oh my
satellite
God.
class nose stuff, and it pulls this information not all at once because it depends on where you are in the world in the app. But yeah, you're going to see everything in real time. You can throw in whatever weather you want to put up. Yeah, I'm waiting for that because that's another.
Can I drive that or fly that and crash it into my house and get the insurance money?
Definitely could.
I need that.
And it look real too, as long as you can get your house to blow up.
I can work on that.
My son's into flight sims. He's going to be excited about that news.
Yeah, they've been advertising it now since like February, and they're saying it'll be late March, and I guess COVID derailed it or something because I haven't heard anything.
COVID derailed.
I'm sure they're having a hard time with 15 terabytes.
It did. It derailed the entire world. It's ridiculous.
You see,
We're still shut down. BA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went through phase 1 yesterday, so it just
Did you? That's good.
But it's peanuts, you know. So we went from you can't get your haircut to you can get your haircut. That's what the only thing that changed. Like, oh, okay, that was fun, but whatever. I don't know. This whole thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
hey Scott, what camera are you using?
I'm using a C922. What is it? Logitech? Yeah, Logitech.
Yeah.
I love those cameras.
It's
They
crystal
sold out real
clear.
quick. Yeah, they sold out. Let me tell you, when COVID hit, let me tell you about what happened to me in my channel. So I was around, I'm thinking like mid 3,000 subscribers. Okay.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, all of a sudden, I was getting 100 subscribers a freaking day.
That's a shame.
I was like, what the hell's going on my channel, right? Like,
Why?
what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what happened. I made a video about how you can use your cell phone as a webcam. Okay. What happened during COVID? Everybody's working from home.
Oh, it blew up.
And one of my videos went high order. And because I was, you know how I always have, I describe the purpose of the video first. And then I say, if you're new to the channel, blah, 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 you know, subscribe and click the bell. Well, that was one of them. And they subscribed and clicked the bell.
I just sent a friend of mine a message and said, I haven't seen Scott Fichter in a little while. Last time I saw Scott, from the time I met him till the last time I came across him, he's always been in 3,000, 3,500 range. I said, he's about to hit 10K.
Yep.
I haven't seen it in a little bit, man. And I just was like looking at your channel like, holy crap. You know?
Hey,
That's
10K, you get to put up merchandise and everything, brother.
Do I?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Good for you.
We're figuring out what we're going to do. Something crazy, something weird. We'll figure it out. Maybe a green screen. I'll have my kids dancing around.
You know, these phones have gotten so damn good, though. I mean,
they're incredible.
like the S20. Can you see an OBS live stream from an S20 that's zooming in 108 times into the? I mean, that would be incredible.
You can use your phone wirelessly now, right? And I'm thinking, okay, if I can use my phone as a webcam wirelessly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Walmart, get a cheap train set, and put it behind me, and let the train go behind me and slow, like real slow, so that you can see behind me moving, you know, with the train.
Right.
I think that would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
That's an idea. I'm wondering why his 920, which I have in the house.
Yep.
I think it's actually a 922 I had to buy. Oh, is that a train set up there, Brian?
It is.
Oh, is that a train setup? Nice, man.
It runs too.
Does it?
We used to have in the old days a model with what they call them. It was just a hobby shop that actually had the HO, not the HOs and then the miniatures, but he actually had a racetrack for cars where guys used to come in and race their cars.
Yes, yes.
Yep. And that
This
was
was
cool.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
60 something.
Yep.
In the 70s.
There was a place here in Mass that had one when I was a kid growing up in the in the mid '80s or whatever. They had one, and they had a track, and there's still one somewhere. I'm trying to think of where the hell it is. There's a guy that I saw last year. He made a YouTube video about it. He went down to the track with his kid to show him, and he went down there, raced for the afternoon, indoor track for model cars, for RC cars, whatever. Pretty cool.
They do. Go ahead,
Go ahead,
man.
Jim.
No,
I was going to say, I think what you're talking about is I was at a farmer's market in Downingtown where I live. I live out towards Downingtown, PA. It's a very heavy duty. It's not like a toy. It's like a real deal slot car racing track. Very fat and thick, like big bucks. And these grown men are in there like really into it playing this thing.
They got parts boxes.
Yeah.
Slot cars, that's what they were. Yeah.
Slot cars. That's right. Slot cars.
Yeah.
They'd have like a tackle box full of parts.
Yes. Really into it. Like the guys were really into it. Yeah.
Almost as much as those guys that do Robot Wars, right?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, these
really
guys will lay
too.
down money.
Drones. Oh.
So, Brian, one of the main problems I had with this computer was that the piece of crap it said it had two M.2 NVMe slots. It lied. It only has one. And it's 126 gigabyte. My boot drive is only 126 gigabytes.
When it said it has two slots, was one of them already had one in it though, didn't it? It had to have.
Yeah. It had the 126.
Yeah. That's. Here's the thing. There's a program you can download. It's called Samsung Magician or some damn thing. You download it and say you want to transfer. In other words, you get another M2 drive, say a terabyte.
Right.
And you get this program and you say you want to clone your existing drive, your 126, over to that terabyte. It'll do it for you in minutes.
I think Acronis does that too, right?
Yeah, but those are bulky. I do not use those anymore. There's a couple programs out. One is, let me see if I got it here, Samsung Magician. The other one, oh yeah, of course I took down the thing, the link, the icon for it. Shit. Anyway, what I'm getting at is you can put 2 terabytes or however much you want to spend on those M2s.
Right.
In other words, just clone your drive onto say like a 1 terabyte, and then you just buy another one, like another 1 terabyte or 2 or 3, and you've got a hell of a lot more space all of a sudden just with your 2 slots. Here it is, AOMEI Backupper.
Really?
Yeah, I think that one was $29. I bought it a while back because I wasn't sure if
the only problem is that when I use these water drones, I have to get this. I'm running them through an Apple iPad, and what it made me do, because they do not have SD cards in them, all the video goes straight to your iPad Mini 4. So I had to actually load iTunes and the iOS operating system onto my damn C drive in order to access the video, Scott. All I wanted to do was access the damn video.
You just wanted the damn video, Scott. That's all you wanted.
That's it.
Wait a minute, though. When you hooked up that device to your computer, it didn't see it as just an external drive?
No. I had to use iTunes.
So you booted off of it?
No, you wouldn't boot off it.
It's just so I can access it.
Okay.
And so
that's the thing. The iTunes is a pain in the ass because it's a database. It's not raw files. It's a database of files, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So gaining access to them are real problematic.
Yes. Yeah. See, he says Brad says you just need to install iTunes and that's it. Well, I tried to do that, but somehow it installed the whole damn OS. And it's got its own little, I think I have like 15 gigabytes left on this C drive. It's crazy.
Yeah. You're going to need to do what I said and get that program and get you a bigger drive. I mean, those M2s, they come, I think I've seen them as big as 3 terabytes.
This Samsung 970 Evo, I
There you
think that's what I got hanging off the side here now.
That's
It wasn't expensive.
no, it was
wasn't?
like $100.
Oh, I
110
thought
bucks.
they were expensive. I thought they
Nah.
were pretty expensive.
Best Buy.
Yeah, because
They're
actually,
getting
I think
cheaper.
that's what I'm using on a C drive on the one I've got now. I didn't-
Samsung Evo 970.
Yeah,
Evo
Okay.
970. Yeah,
Evo, yeah.
$101 at Newegg.
that's not bad. How much storage is it?
Terabyte.
Wow.
Mine is 1 terabyte. They come in, I think they go up to 2 terabytes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just plugs in the side. And the SSD, I mean, it's so damn fast. When I'm
Oh, they're
transferring
unbelievable.
video, it's killer, man.
It's
87 megabytes a second or something.
it's a game changer. It's a game
Yeah.
changer.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
slower. It's slower for me to take all that video. And I mean, I walk away. I have the backup for the 6 terabyte
Yep.
Western Digital drive.
Yeah.
I just have a backup program. I'll hit it and walk away because it'll take hours.
On my iMac, when I used to produce, I literally hit encode, go to bed, wake up in the morning, and hope that nothing crashed.
Oh God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if something went wrong, it was like, oh my God, not again. You know, I just got tired of it. It was just one of those many reasons why I decided to go back to PC. So, I mean, I love Macs. Don't get me wrong, but after a while, like iTunes, I hated iTunes. I hated the way it worked.
I heard
didn't
it getting away with it too.
Yeah, they're trying to push it off onto the cloud. Is what I think they're trying to do. I don't know. And I'm not
Wait.
big on putting my stuff on the cloud. You know, I'm not. Big
I
on-
know.
I hate the fucking cloud.
I'm not feeling that.
Amazon wants to do that too with the photos. You know, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription,
Yeah.
everybody, I mean, look at Apple. All I did was hook up the damn iPad mini. Next thing I know, I get an email. My Apple 5 gigabyte cloud account is full.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? I never sent anything anywhere.
It just assumes to upload everything right up to it.
Google
Yeah.
does the same thing. That Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, it must be every picture I take on my phones must be going up to all
Oh,
these
yeah.
drives.
Yeah.
I got an iPhone. And I tell you right now, anybody who's got an iPhone will tell you that it's always listening to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Always,
Absolutely.
Yeah. I could whisper something dirty to my wife on the way out the door to go to work, and then grab 2 slices of toast out of the toaster and grab a thing of water out of the fridge and leave. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm getting an ad for an all-in-one toaster, refrigerator, blowjob machine. Not good. Not good at all.
I saw. This is gospel. Now I'm not bullshitting. An Alexa, Google Alexa, is that who makes it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably.
Was actually used in court
Yeah.
against a guy for
For a
a
murder
murdering
trial, right?
plot.
Yeah.
Yes, you heard about that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
They used his own Alexa against him.
Yeah.
In
Yep.
court.
My brother and I joke about it. We'll go for a bone ride. We'll smoke a couple bones, go out the back road out to Walmart, and then we'll joke about it while we're in Walmart. All right, what should we talk about a lot? And we each pick something. We'll keep talking about it the whole way through Walmart as a joke, and the next morning we'll literally take screenshots and shoot each other the friggin' ads that are popping up on our social media about what we talked about the night before.
And you know what, though? It relieves the law enforcement's priority for having a warrant because you gave the fucking thing permission.
Right.
You gave Google and Alexa and all the permissions in the world in order to use it.
Well, I love people that put they'll repost these things on Facebook. This post serves that I do not give my permission. No, listen, you either give your permission or they don't let you on their platform.
Right.
If you're on Facebook, you're screwed. You've already given them permission. There's no taking it back. No, there's no moron lawyer in the world that's going to say, well, they put this post up because they all know it has no weight in court.
I've
If you're
seen that
using
post.
Instagram, if you're using Twitter, if you're using Facebook, if you're using YouTube, they own you. That's it. They own you because to click I agree to be able to use the platform, you have to let them own you. That's it. That's all it is.
One little sentence.
But what about my Fourth Amendment right?
You gave it away.
That's right.
But
How do you think I got so many Scott Fichter nudes on my phone?
When you
Huh?
when you take a DJI drone, there's a button to hit accept in order to start the drone up the first time. When you hit accept, you just agreed to pages worth of shit that you never read. It's so small, you can't possibly read it. And you gave it the right, because when you go through the DJI Go 4 app, is what it's called, it makes connections to so many things, even Alibaba.
No way.
Yes. There's a guy on Twitter, I forget his name now, but he listed the amount of channels that it connects to when you go hook up to it, and it's on your wireless or your cell phone. It's actually connecting all the time.
It wasn't that way in the beginning, though, was it?
No.
I didn't think it was.
No, but then they found out that they can make billions and billions of dollars by selling people's information. And that's how everyone's doing so great at Twitter and Amazon and Facebook and everything else. So they were like, oh, well, the hell with it. We'll start selling information too. Why not? You know?
They've got maps of every inch of the United. They got better shit than Google does.
Yes. And they tell, like, if you try to fly that thing near any kind of arena or football field or anything, and things like, no, you cannot. Down, right? Yeah, it won't let you. Yep.
Yeah. That's amazing that they've already gotten it to that point, you know.
It only took them a couple of years.
I'm sure the government got there through the Homeland Security Act or whatever. But somebody else was just talking about that recently. How every year there's some event that happens, and they get new file footage of the arena from the outside, just because they do a video on it every year. There's one that was over on Rocket Rider's channel talking about it, and he went down to the thing. It was Rocket, the guy whose channel it was. He went down to get the footage, to get new footage every year or whatever, and he went down and he couldn't fly his drone. It kept telling him it's disabled in this area. He's like, and then I drove further away and tried to fly out over it, and it kept telling me it was unable to do so. I think it kept making it return to home or whatever. I think that's what it would do to it. You're crazy, huh? See, Edge.
Brian, what are you checking out? Newegg?
He mentioned something about Scott's channel.
Oh yeah,
did he?
Scott's got a cool channel.
Yeah, it's way back up there.
I forget how the hell I met you, Scott.
I don't remember either.
Been a while though.
Oh yeah, at least 3 years.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
It was through somebody.
Yeah, that's how we
probably,
all get around.
Was it JBD? Camo what's it? JBD Camo Man 9363?
I don't know.
Dustin? No. It wasn't oh shit. Pusa Studios, was it?
I was on Pusa in the beginning, but now they're taking their Tech Tuesdays and making it only for their members.
Oh.
Yeah, their Patreon members or whatever the hell they are.
No, they gave membership to every friggin' channel that is monetized, and it just ruined it, because what happened was all these people were like, oh, cool, I want to get paid every month when people watch my channel, so they all hooked up this membership shit, and then they want everybody to subscribe to them, and then they're like, oh, well, I just hang out in the live stream all the time. I don't really do anything.
Yeah.
So what am I gonna give my? I'm not talking about Push Studios. They actually give a lot. They do a lot of different things.
I've got a friend.
I'm saying the average Bob though. They're like, so now everyone's like, oh well, I used to do a Saturday night live stream for 5 hours where we'd all hang out and bullshit. Now that's gonna be members only. Like, and I won't pay to be a member of anybody's channel. I refuse. Listen. I got 5 kids. I ain't got extra money to be throwing people for what I can find for free on someone else's channel.
I know.
Yeah. I just don't have it,
And they used to have good stuff. Like Scott will tell you, okay, Scott, let me warn you. Some of these guys, I have to cool down and say, okay, now forget what I'm going to tell you. Okay. Google Analytics is so goddamn good that when you smile in your thumbnail, it knows that and recommends you more than the guy whose thumbnail doesn't smile.
No way.
Yeah, it's Google AI.
Now, yep.
Google AI.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
No, it's true though. It's true.
It's
It's very
Yeah,
creepy.
no, it's absolutely creepy.
It'll tell you the head is angled 10% to the left. It can read every book name behind you, Brian.
Yeah.
If the
What
camera
if
can,
I'm going with sad clown face now from now on. See how that works.
I'm
wanna
telling
use
you, they got their algorithm. They like 4K more than they like 1080 videos, and they definitely use their AI.
It can tell you're wearing Fruit of the Loom.
I have that. I have it all under a folder called YouTube.
That means they can tell I'm not. Uh-oh. Hey, guys, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
What time is it? Well, it's 11:30.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
10:30. I don't know where you are.
11:37 here.
I'm on the East Coast.
Where is my
too.
channel called YouTube? You know, I hate bookmarks. I do. I have 9 billion bookmarks and don't know where anything is.
Got to put them in a file, man.
Uh-huh.
I got files as bookmarks, and under those files, you know, like government, local media, shopping, prep, news, drone related, there's 20 or 30 or 100 different websites, but it just organizes them better
I
by
have a
whatever you
big-
know.
big page of links that I reference. I just click it and it's got all my stuff in it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
I've
very
just
similar to yours, Brian.
Yeah, I've got too many. I'm just trying to find the YouTube folder because all I wanted to do was show you that Google AI, well, YouTube AI. But anyway, you also got the folder with the PDF file where there's 46 pages of names you can't use on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
46 pages.
The things you
Really?
can't say.
Yeah.
I think every video I do on the Squirrel channel, I have at least one of those words in every video I do.
Is that a test?
No, but I really probably do though, honestly. I've read through that list a lot and I think about it. Every video I do, I think I've got them in there. So
Man, where's George Carlin when you need him for this?
Right? He'd have a
pretty
field
much.
day.
that's pretty much it.
Have you guys been,
I
Have you
gotta
guys-
go.
40,000 words you can't say on YouTube.
have you guys been getting these comment bots? These little comment
Oh my
bots?
God, they're
Yes,
horrible, Scott.
yes.
They're horrible.
They never stop.
Hey, let's be friends. Nice video.
You block them, they come with another one, and another one, and another one.
Yeah.
another one.
What
Last
was the
night I put a
first one,
video up and I
Tom?
got 4 comments last night from the same bot, and it sucks because I'll put a video up. My videos do pretty good on my Squirrel channel. I'm not knocking them out of the park, but I've only got 318 subscribers, you know. So if I get 100, 200 views, I'm happy, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
But that many, yeah. And I'll pop a video up, and within like 18 seconds,
Oh my God.
I'll go over to put a pinned comment on, and it's already got 30 views. And I'm like, you know, like at first I was like, oh wow, but then I realized there's no thumbs up, there's no comments from anybody. And then all of a sudden, there are like 3 or 4 of the canned comments come through from the. So it's the same thing, just hitting me over and over and over. So it's
Yeah.
killing my fucking analytics, killing me. 30 views in 4 seconds, and screw that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's ever changing so fast. I put a video out last night, and I got 4 comments, all the exact same comment. Great video, great video,
Yeah.
great video. And it was from like
Tran.
Dizilla or something, Dizilla. That's what it came up as in my notification. Dizilla said great video 4 times in a row. When I go on my channel, it says Ralph. It's the same thing, but it's a
Wow.
different name. So they're changing it so fast that
Yes,
it's
yes,
getting
yes, yes.
notifications, and then it's different in my box.
Yes.
It's
And,
crazy.
and it's
I saw a
it's
video
working.
about
It
last week.
works because if you go to their channel and look at their views are huge.
Yeah.
So they're making money.
So
And
that's how
they're smart. What they're doing is when you go to the channel, they have no subs.
And they have no videos. There might be 1 or 2
But
videos.
they do. They have.
Right.
It looks like they have videos. So there's no place to subscribe purposefully, and then you click on the video and it brings you to their actual channel. So this way, when the channel gets shut down for spam botting, the other channel doesn't get affected. And then there's a new one.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
That's slick.
I just watched the thing the other day about how they're doing it. They use there's a service you can hire to do it for you, and they will.
Jesus.
And you can set all kinds of parameters. Like every person on YouTube who's under 200 subs, I want to comment on every fucking video that gets put out with the word "the" in it, you know, and because you got to set something. So they pick a word like "the"
Right.
or the word YouTube or whatever. And then every person who is under 1,500, whatever it is, it'll automatic. You pick like 5 comments, and it just uses one of those random comments every time it does it. And these bots don't care. They just run them, and they just go. So
what is the benefit to them?
well, the benefit is they hit all the people with low subscribers, and half those people go over to their channel, click on one of the videos, and end up subscribing to them. And then when the thing gets shut down, their bot channel, which is the same name as their channel, goes away, and they put another one up, and they keep that channel keeps growing. I really don't know about the whole deal behind it, but from what I'm told, most of them are in India. That's what this guy in the video surmised, that's where they're coming from, a lot of them. And it makes sense because sometimes they don't get translated properly, and sometimes you'll get a good video. I like we friend or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get it translated like that too. So
I've gotten to where I just delete them.
Right, that's what I do too.
Because I can see them now for what they are. I don't even go to their channels most of the time when I see how it's written.
Oh, I got so excited the other day. I had like 297 subs like a couple days ago. And I put a video up, and I got this video, and it was like, hey, I'm new here. I just subscribed in before 300. This channel's been growing and doing really, which my channel's been doing okay. So it's like, this channel's been growing and doing really well. I can't wait to see you take off or something. I was like,
yeah,
oh, what a nice comment from someone,
This video should go viral.
And then I realized, but this was more thought out than that. It was just what I just said, like in before 300. So glad, I was like, and it seemed like a legitimate comment. I've never seen like this from a bot. So I go and I click on the person. I'm like, it's one of them fucking bot channels, man. They're getting better at this, And then, of course they don't subscribe. I don't want them to. But yeah, I like went and looked. I'm like, who's this person? And I think some big channels are starting. I think some big channels are catching on how they're doing it, and I think they're starting to use it. Because I've had 3 channels that were between 10,000 and 80,000 subs over the past week come to my channel, subscribe to my channel. I actually see a tick go up,
Right.
And they'll leave some kind of comment. Hey, I'm new to your channel. Love your stuff. Come check me out if you have a chime. Okay, whatever. And then it's usually about 6 hours later. You watch, your number ticks down one. And I started watching and realizing every time I get one of these big guys on, it's almost 6 hours to the time. So it must be part of the program that they're cheating with. It says subscribe and then unsubscribe in 6 hours, or however. It's got to be.
How about that?
Yeah. So some of these channels, I'm like, oh, look at this guy. But I know that person didn't leave the comment because it's the same comment as the guy who had 40,000 subs and 10,000 subs, and this guy's got 80,000 subs. So even these guys who have a lot of subs, they're now that they see this bot doing this and they figured out, there's a company that does it or whatever, now they're starting to jump on board with it. You're buying subs and views.
I don't get it though, because YouTube takes a view comment ratio, don't they, Scott? Aren't they watching how many views you get? I mean, because I'll get 5,000 views, and these days 1 subscriber. I've seen it go down.
Yeah, they're measuring. Well, what they're trying to do is establish a channel authority measurement. Okay, so when your authority goes higher and higher, then you get more suggested video. So the higher that authority is, depends on how much traffic you're going to get based on the new videos that you release. So how do they establish the authority? Well, they are measuring your subscribers, your views, your comments, and your likes. Those 4 things. So the more of that stuff you get, the better chances of getting more traffic. That's why when you get more popular, you get even more popular because you get more authority. So you can, when you try to, I don't know if you guys use like a Morning Fame or a TubeBuddy or whatever.
I use TubeBuddy, and I have vidIQ, but I never use it. Okay,
so you type in a topic that you want to try, and it says, well, based on your current level of authority, don't do it. It gives you a number. Like if I use Morning Fame, and it'll say, I'll say I want to do a video on how to learn OBS. Well, everybody and their grandmother is writing about that. And all those channels are huge, and there's just no way I can compete against the monsters on that one topic, right?
Right.
Because I don't have the authority. But when I get bigger, then I can, see? And so that's the game. That's basically the game. That's why it's so damn difficult to grow when you're small, because you don't have the juice. You don't have the authority.
No pull, yeah.
That's why they say go with a narrow niche, because no one else is in that niche, and it's easier to compete with authority in a narrow niche, right? Because no one else is talking about it. So don't talk about sports. Don't talk about football. Talk about the leather that makes the football. Talk about the football grass. Talk about like...
It's so true.
You know what I mean? You get my point? Because you can't compete against football, but you could compete against how to make the best football leather.
Pink footballs.
Yeah.
Drill down on the football.
So these kids that don't know, you know, or people come into the venue thinking, well, I'm going to get big. I'm going to make a video about cooking. Well, good luck, buddy. It's not going to happen.
Remember when that mukbang crap went crazy? What the hell was that? And then ASMR.
Still big. They're both still big.
It's still big, yeah. It's funny that, you know, you get some people with just a very creative idea, and they're bang, they go just 0 to 1,000 in like no time, or 0 to 10,000 overnight, because they landed on this really cool, simple, unique idea, and it could be stupid as hell. It could be like, I don't know. Like I remember that kid that would smash things. He was like make messes. He would just like go to the kitchen. He'd just smashing crap. God, you won huge overnight. I tried to do it. I had a channel where I smashed stuff. Didn't work out. Too much work.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm serious. It's called Art of the Hammer. And I put a mask on and I smashed it. Did it for about 2 months. And I got tired of going to Goodwill and buying shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to run out of material after a while.
I work at home. My wife would go to work. I'd run out in the garage for an hour, smash plates, run back in. I had a GoPro on my head. I had all these cameras and light shit, all this crazy shit set up. And I just like, I said to myself, what am I doing? I can't do this. I just can't.
I can't sustain this.
No, I can't do it. I mean, this my channel's hard enough. I can barely.
Tony, what's the name of your channel?
I have 2 channels. My channel that I do by myself is called Helix Squirrel. And that's kind of it's not safe for work. There's a lot of vulgarity on there, a lot of it. I'm not proud. Well, I am proud of it.
But his nice channel is Viewed This.
And Viewed This is my other channel.
I like Viewed This, yeah.
So
I like the basement background.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The little bulb
Creepy.
hanging down. Yeah, I just dig it. I think it's unique, man. It's really cool.
Something different, you know?
Yeah.
But
how's it working out for you? Is it still growing?
No, it's we took a break. We ran into PC issues. We couldn't edit film anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we bought a new computer, and then right after the computer got here, we put out a couple episodes, and then coronavirus hit, and just kind of put a little stop on us, just because the kids were homeschooling, and 5 kids at home homeschooling, and things became got to be a lot. The Helix Squirrel channel became something I could do at night quickly by myself, and just kind of And then my son and I started recording more episodes. We started putting new episodes out. The views aren't there. A lot of I'm getting really horrible views lately. And on top of that, like we're having a problem. I was speaking about this earlier on the stream. We're picking people, and then we go to do a video about them, and then right before I put the video out, they change the channel name, or they did like we'll say. Cooking, and then they did like great dessert recipes and great pork recipes. And we do the video and be like, they get all around cooking, but they really hone in on dessert recipes, and we show some clips, and like, and these pork recipes are great. We show some clips, and then all of a sudden when you go to their channel, you realize that they've hidden all the pork and dessert videos because they don't want to do that anymore. It's constant. I can't keep up with the changes on other people's channels, and that's their channel. That's fine. So it's really kind of messing me up. So my son and I have sat down this past weekend. It was his 14th birthday, and we.
Drink any of it, or you want me to dump it out?
Dump it out. I'm coming in.
Anyway, we come up with a new format. We'll be launching it soon. So it's basically the same thing, but it just gets screwed by people's right to change their own channel. It kind of messes us up. So it's going to be a different kind of format. but
Yeah.
the same. So it'll be different.
You guys know Eagle VP, right?
Yeah.
I had a conversation with him on the phone in regards to, remember how he used to interview people?
Yep.
He said the same thing. People are, it's just so difficult, so hard to pin them down, and he just got tired of battling the people.
Yeah.
So it's not uncommon.
No, it's tough. So
here we go.
What was this?
No, I just wanted to show you that
Oh yeah.
you can go under the features and all that, and it will sit there. Look at it. Graphical user interface. I mean, you know who showed me this was Pusa.
Yeah.
It goes into all the machine learning and the intelligence apps that they've put together. I put the link in the, I have to press enter. There, I put a link in the chat. Scott, you might like that. And there's others like this, but I was not kidding when I told you that it will sit there and count if your head's tilted, if you're smiling in your thumbnail.
Here's my new thumbnail.
Yeah. You've got to do that. I mean, it
That's
found
crazy.
a word on a t-shirt on a picture on the wall of Pusa Studios because it rates everything. 96% male, 43% ducks. You know what I mean? That kind of, it's all machine learning. They don't have to do anything. It's just the computer doing it. But it'll decide if it likes the book. If one of the books that Brian has in his bookshelf back there is not suitable for children, Brian's video would not be able to be monetized. If he had a Penthouse or a Playboy up there, his video, or at least the one with that thumbnail, would not be suitable for children.
That's crazy.
That's how good
he's got a Home Depot bucket back there. That's not good.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I know you're getting ready to wrap it up anyway, but I got to jump off of here, man. I got to finish editing some stuff and get to bed. So, Jim, I appreciate you as always inviting me up. I'm glad I got to come hang out for a little bit. Brian, it was good chilling out with you, man. And Scott, always good to see you, brother. I'm glad you're doing well.
Good to see you again. Yep. Great talking with you.
Hopefully we get. I just picked you up with this channel because I've been on this channel more often, my squirrel channel. So I'll be watching out for you, man. But it was good talking with you, man. You guys take care and have a great night. Thanks, Jim.
See you, buddy.
Later,
Scott,
buddy.
thank you so much for coming on. I see Brad was there the night that they showed this.
Uh-huh.
It was seriously sick, man. It was like too much to think of. You can't beat the analytics. I can't play in the same arena.
Yeah, it's just a crazy world right now.
It's so stupid. It's like,
where are we going from here? Where are we going from here?
Yeah.
I've heard talk where creators are trying to look into not using humans, but letting the computer be the human. That's the future where
That's
you
scary.
you just type in some subjects and then the video gets created. That's coming down the pike. I'm sure that YouTube will have something to say about it.
Have you seen where I just got this phone, okay, and I loaded Facebook onto this phone. It wanted me to make an emoji.
Oh, yeah.
Facebook now has emojis. So what I was thinking was, wouldn't it be funny? Because they have these stylizations when you're doing your video rendering.
Yeah.
Boris Effects and things like that, or New Blue. These are companies that make, so I could sit there and make my video in a Chinese painting stylization or something like that. So I wonder if it would be AI searching AI. Because that would all be AI, artificial intelligence, making that video turn into what I consider to be a cartoon look.
Yeah.
But how would Google
interpret that?
Yeah.
It would probably recognize that it was an emoji, I imagine.
You do have an idea of what I'm talking about, right? where you take a regular video and you can lay this effect over it, and all of a sudden it looks like a cartoonist did it, or they call it painting impressions. Let me see if I can pop that up.
Are you talking about where you talk and the emoji-looking character talks?
Well, there's
Essentially?
that too. There's that too. What if you did that?
There's my cat.
I see.
It's a big cat.
That's my small cat.
Really?
I got a fatter one. Yeah. Where'd he go? There he is. You might jump up. Here, buddy.
Is that the? No, that's not. You got a different mic too.
This is no, it's the same mic. I just got a new foamy thing on top.
Oh, okay.
ATR. It's an ATR 2100. It's an older one. Love the mic. About
Yeah.
$70. It's got a you can plug in a headphones in the bottom of this thing and listen to it as well.
Now let me ask you something. Does I have that too on this Yeti?
Mhm.
Doesn't that drive you insane
What?
to hear yourself?
No, I never use it.
a-
Yeah, I it's not practical. I don't even know why
Yeah.
they put it in the thing. I never use it. You know, but
They call it monitoring, right?
I guess I don't know why you'd want to use it. You can hear yourself when you're recording, so why would you need to?
Okay.
I don't know.
I didn't understand what it was for, but
Yeah, I don't either. I don't. I guess it's some selling point for some reason.
I'm shutting off YouTube. We could talk if we want to.
Okay.
Good night, world.
Good night, guys. Peace.
Say goodbye, Brian.
Take it easy, Jim.